Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Carlos. Say, I'm doing fine. It's Friday of a weird week, and I can't wait to see what today's going to bring.
Yeah, absolutely. It has definitely been historic, if we could say. I mean, it has been wild this week, as we can see here. Quick look at the SPY, which give us that. Look at this daily candle. Has been really all over the place, and we've seen volatility, tariffs, and everything else just creating a bunch of madness in the overall market. The SPY is trading like a low flow stock, Peter. What do you think?
Madness. Yeah, that's it's just been a week where like we have no idea what to expect next, right?
Yeah.
You know, every time we think we've got a handle on things, it changes. Tariffs are on, tariffs are off, tariffs are good. No, they're not. I don't know. Anyways, we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't know. Do we hope for announcements today or no announcements? I don't even know what to hope for anymore.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. It has definitely been a challenging week. Here's what our gappers list looks like this morning, guys. So we are swinging to the green side of things. Not by much or not by a lot of tickers. Like I don't see a lot of our usual suspects on here, Tesla, Nvidia, and any of those. We'll see how they're doing in a second. I see some of them are slightly green. Tesla's just right on the previous day close line, going back and forth. But for the most part, some green stuff and not a whole lot of tickers on our gappers list this morning. So we'll dive into those in just a second. But before we do that, Peter, our U.S. economic calendar for today.
Yeah, so yesterday we had the CPI numbers. Today, as it usually happens, the PPI, the Producer Price Index numbers come out. And interestingly, they are lower than expected. So this would be the relative cost of goods to producers. And we're seeing actual contraction. So Producer Price Index is expected to be a 0.2% increase. Was negative 0.04. Core PPI negative 0.1. Year over year, it's only 2.7 versus 3.3 forecasted. So interesting that we're seeing a reduction in producer price. I mean, keep in mind, this is sort of a latent number. And I don't know, it feels counterintuitive when you've got tariffs on things that prices are going down. Was Trump right all along? Is it working? Is the economy going to boom? I don't know.
Who knows?
Who
knows?
For
our sakes, I said it before. Let's hope he's right, man. Let's just hope he's right. I know whether you like him or not. Let's hope he's right, and we just can make money all together as a happy family. Whether you're left or right, I don't care. Let's just make money. Money makes people happy, and hopefully he's right. Because if he's not, we're going to be miserable. And I'd rather be happy with than miserable, whether you like him or not. Right? So let's see. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Well, anyways, keep in mind, like I said, this is a latent number. It's we're sort of looking into the rear view mirror here. This is for March, and it's I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. And look, it doesn't reflect the true shape of the economy. It's just a data point. So, take it for what it's worth, which, is not much in the market. Frankly, I saw virtually no reaction. So clearly, it doesn't really matter what this number is saying. The market's going up marginally here right now, but it's not by much. So what do we have for the rest of the day? Pretty light. We actually have quite a number of Fed speakers. It seems like all the Fed chairs from the various regions are on the speaking circuit today. Boston, St. Louis, New York, all out there. We do have consumer sentiment coming out at 10 a.m. I keep forgetting our list is shorter. How many things fit on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I should only put 6 on it. Yeah, we do have consumer sentiment coming out at 10 a.m. and we'll see if the markets move to that. It is a Friday, which means, as is typical, I would expect the Friday afternoon market to be a little less interesting, right? Normally things move sideways. Now I say normally because I have seen occasions, certainly, where Fridays can be extraordinarily interesting and very surprising. So this feels like one of those weeks where we could have an interesting Friday, but I really don't know. I figure I'm just going to pay attention and see if I can be ready for it.
Yep, absolutely, guys. We'll definitely be ready for this gappers list. Seems to be growing a little bit more to the upside. I see a lot of Mara, Hood, Clean Spark. Or is it Clear Spark? Clean Spark, I think it is. Let me just double check. I want to be right on this. Clean Spark, yeah. Okay, so Clean Spark. I see MSTR on here. So a couple of Bitcoin type plays on deck this morning, and then we have some other ones. Seems to be a little bit on the low flow side of things. So we've been getting a lot of low flow activity. Yes, I was looking through all these tickers that have been just going crazy. NMAX, JNVR came back up here. We didn't see this, but this came back up yesterday. Had a big day. It happened after the market opened, but JNVR also popped up again here. Today they're up 13%, but again, just all these low flow stocks been getting, they seem to be more than what we're used to seeing lately. So they're very interesting. WTF, this one died, but a lot of low flow tickers that have been in play lately. And there's some other ones, CoreWeave, CVWR or CWRV, I don't know, something like that. But yeah, many low flow stocks in the last couple of days. All right, so yeah, let's dive into this gappers list, friends. Over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, subscribe very early this morning so you don't have to do it later, and then you could be all good and checked and set. Let's look at the first one, RXRX. We're up 14%, 3 million shares traded this morning. I know you love the ticker name on this one, but I'm not sure how well it's going to trade, Peter. Any news this morning?
Yeah, this one's been up on our list a couple of times. It looks like they, I don't know. I mean, so the headline, doses. Something's grammatically incorrect in this headline. Anyways,
it was AI written.
First patients have tried their early stage B cell lymphoma study treatment, and I mean, look, they're using all the right buzzwords, right? Because this is their proprietary AI-driven recursion OS platform, which they're using to study the results of this drug treatment. It's a treatment. Anyway, look, I don't know what to make of this thing. Like they announced that somebody took the drug. They didn't even announce what the outcome was. So okay, moving on.
We'll check in a few days how that drug is doing. Yeah, exactly. Let's take up the next one on here is AREB. So AREB this morning, we saw this a couple of days ago, and I think also yesterday it came up on our scanners here. Today they're up 13.4. Again, low flow ticker, under a million shares float. 1.2 million shares traded. Hard to borrow with interactive brokers, at least. Again, I just don't think this is something I'll be watching or interested in at all. And I don't like the pre-market action. Like a lot of the stuff that's been heavily in play for low floats, you see a beautiful pre-market activity happening now, and you're not seeing that there. And again, just a reminder, what was the other one? FMTO. What was the madness that went to 11 cents? Was it this one? Oh, my
it's 3 cents now.
It's 3 cents now. Yeah, it's just wild. So you can't see it here, but pre-market on this day, let me give you the daily. This thing was trading here, well, higher, $5, and just in a matter of like 3 minutes, boom, 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 went down to 11 cents. I mean, just nasty. All pre-market action, so no volatility holds. Just be careful. And again, that can happen with any low flow. This is why they're so risky. It doesn't happen often, but it is possible if some kind of news breaks out. I think it was a secondary offering that broke out pre-market and just collapsed. My mic is clipping. I'll double check here. Let me make sure. Usually that shouldn't be the case. I'll bring down the gain just in case. We're excited this Friday, so maybe our excitement is coming through across the mic, so you want to make sure it's not bothering your ears. So yeah, I'll turn it down a little bit. Hopefully it's good. All right, excellent. So that is AREB. I don't like it, Peter. Any news that might be worth looking at?
I don't really see any news. I mean, yesterday they appeared on Miami TV. The CEO did. Okay, that's cool. Oh, I see. He, the CEO appeared on Miami TV. Why was in Miami? Oh, because he was going to an investors meeting at Mar-a-Lago. So apparently that's enough to move your company stock now.
Mm. All right,
So
yeah,
there you
there.
go.
It's an interesting place if you're going there, so maybe good things could happen for the company. Um,
This article used a term I hadn't heard before. Have you heard Mar-a-Lago called the Winter White House? Apparently,
no, I haven't heard that. No, I haven't.
apparently that's the term they're now using
Why
for it. Yes,
winter? Because it's
our, our
summer down
room.
there.
Yeah. Well, I guess you go to Florida in the winter. It's, anyways,
Oh, yeah,
apparently
yeah, yeah,
others have
got
heard
it.
the
Mm-hmm,
term.
mm-hmm.
I haven't
Yep,
heard
yep.
that. Anyways,
That makes
okay, there
sense.
you go.
Yep.
I don't love that, but okay. All right.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at XBEV is next on the list. Again, don't like either one of these two that we just looked at, RXRX and also AREB. But the next one is XPEV, if I can type it correctly here. This one is up 7.1. 1 million shares traded. This could this be because Tesla's being not placing any orders for U.S. models into China? I saw that being done. So because of the tariff, I'm sorry, models into the U.S. I think it is, but or China, can't remember. It's so many tariffs I can't tell which one to switch anymore. Losing track. But well, 7.1, Peter. This is a pretty good pop for them with some good volume.
Yeah. Well, their XPAV basically increased their deliveries by threefold over the last year in China. So they're certainly going huge. Now, we have to keep in mind the relative scale of this company. They delivered a year-over-year growth of like 94,008 EVs. Compared to only 30,000 in the previous period, so it's big. That they are growing very fast. So I get why they're potentially jumping here. Keep in mind their fate on the U.S. markets is in question. There have been rumors going around that Chinese stocks may get delisted off of the American exchange. Haven't actually heard any detail behind that. That's rumor, not fact. So I'm just telling you. Don't hit me with fake news. I just it's been gabbed about. But in any event, XPAV certainly making inroads while Tesla continues to lose ground. Tesla's sales again continue to fall in the Chinese market. Yeah, it's just Chinese car companies selling more, Tesla selling less. That's, I guess, to be expected in this economic climate.
Yeah, sure,
You know
sure
what?
is.
Random talking about electric cars. I'm trying to figure out, is it the same car I keep seeing, or are there a bunch of them around? But I keep seeing VinFast SUVs in my neighborhood. And I can't
VinFast
figure out if it's the same
SUV.
one. It's I've seen like 3 times. They've all been a white SUV, so I need to check out the license to see if it's just the same one. But remember VinFast? They were the Vietnamese electric car company that were a flash in the pan. It was like, Carlos, it was like 3 days or something. They were on our list, and we were looking at them because they just skyrocketed in price and then disappeared, and then never heard
Well,
from them
what's the
again.
ticker for those?
I was afraid you were going
Fast?
to
Is
ask
it
for that.
fast or fast is something else?
No,
Oh, fast.
VFS. VFS.
VFX
VFS as in
S.
Susan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
And
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah, I
see
remember
back.
this.
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago now, but 2023 or something, where they just popped right up there,
Yeah.
and they went like on crazy pricing all the way up and then all the way back down 2 days after that, and then we never heard from them again. But anyways, surprised to see these VinFast cars on the roads here in Canada. I guess they've got a license to sell in Canada, or somebody's driving one around. Anyways,
Yeah.
maybe it's a test vehicle. I have no idea, but they've
Maybe
been all over the
testing how
place.
they perform in the cold up there. But this looks like a Bronco Ford. Like, well, what's okay? All right, so I see they got a couple of
It's an SUV.
models.
They all look the same. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. All right, there you go. As far as EVs goes, I'm going to be watching Tesla, of course. I mean, that's the one that gets the volume trades very well. So it will be on my list, as always is. And we'll see. Today, 4.6 million shares traded. Again, pretty much flat. I mean, there's really nothing going on right now as far as gapping up or down besides just the volume today. And the market's just kind of waiting to see what's next. So let me add this over to my primary list. Tesla will be on there today. So there it goes. All right, going back to our gappers list, let's take a quick look here as we move on down. TSM is another one that's on deck today. Then we have gold. TSM today, we are up 4.6, 101,000 shares traded. I know Trump's been mentioning them on some of his speeches and talks. So for the most part, it's just been moving with the overall market. They're up 4.6 today, Peter. Anything new on this that might be interesting?
Well, I mean, the last news that we were looking at for these guys were certainly the fact that they'd signed a deal with Intel to help run their foundry that they're talking about building. I don't really see anything new on it. Let's see here. Am I missing news? Why is it up? Any news? I don't. I got nothing, Carlos. I don't know why.
Yeah. All right. No, not much to go off there. So typically doesn't trade very well if we look at semiconductors, right? Unless, no, actually, the only time they trade well if it's they have really big news, which we haven't really seen, right? This has been trading with the overall market in tariff. And this is a great question here from Amy. He's asking me, as an American, what do I think about the tariffs? What do you think is good for the economy? And that's the thing, man. I don't have a scholarship in math and economics and finance. I have no idea. For the same amount of people you could find that this is good, you can find the same amount of people that are way smarter than me that says this is bad, right? So take your pick. Like, we just don't know, to be honest. I have no clue whatsoever. If these guys are smarter than me, can't figure it out, I have no shot, So
yeah,
it's who knows.
There is so much controversy and contradiction in information out there about tariffs and what they mean. It's tough to ferret out. I mean, historically, tariffs have usually not gone well, right? But there are tariffs like all over the place on all sorts of things. But tariff wars never go well, and historically, right? Unfortunately, it goes badly for consumers because companies take advantage of it, right? Like it's one of those things where, like if your competitor gets tariffed and their product is suddenly more expensive, you as a consumer, like, so let's say a non-American competition, a product suddenly goes up by 20% because there's a now tariff on it. Do you think the American made, product sells for 20% less? No, they say, hey, look, we can increase our prices 18% and still be 2% cheaper. So, they take advantage of that usually, and the product prices go up. That's almost always how it happens, right? So unless you, anyways, it's never been something that's worked.
It's not a clear answer too, right? Because of course trade wars are not good, right? Period. But
right.
What he's trying to do here, he's trying to get people to the table. If not, he wouldn't pause 90 days. He's trying to get people to the table and negotiate and do this and do that. He's not trying to keep people at the 30% tariffs all across the board, right? If it works, great.
Tariffs are not. Clearly tariffs are not the end objective, right? I would say that, right? But it's challenging, right? I mean, this is sort of typical Trump. This is the way he operates, but it makes it tough, right? Like the level of uncertainty that it creates is what's most troublesome right now. So and from a trading perspective, it's creating some movement, right? It's certainly creating, interesting times in the markets, not predictable times really, but interesting times certainly. So, let's see what we can do with it. In the meantime, we just have to sort of roll with it, see where the money sloshes around in the market and how we can effectively trade. Really, that's
absolutely. He's trying to bring our jobs back. So they comment on YouTube. But I'm with Dave Chappelle on bringing the jobs back, right? I want to wear Nikes, not make them, right? So some jobs got to stay over there, right? Some jobs got to stay over there.
The messaging. right? Like even his people are talking about the messaging, and they're like bringing back the jobs where the people put the little screws in the iPhones, and we're like, Americans are like, we don't want to make iPhones. Like, that sounds crazy. But then he's like, no, it's the robots that'll make them, and then people will just fix the robots. And
I love
anyways,
that. I love that. I seen that answer on YouTube because not on YouTube. I'm sorry, on X. Everybody on X is an expert. I'm quickly to tell you, I'm not an expert, so I don't know what the right answer is, what the right method is to get somewhere. But I love all the specialists on X where someone posted, how are you going to bring all these jobs back when it's only 4% unemployment of our population? Right? I mean, this is a lot of damn jobs. And robots are going to make it. You know how much it takes to make a robot to do this? How long it takes? And what are you going to do if the outcome of the product is like, you sell it for $10? You think a robot is going to be profitable? Your investment will be out of control. So, but again, everybody's an expert on X and YouTube and social media. Is outrageous how everybody has to answer to everything when they want to prove their point. But again, as an American,
really
I just hope this works and that we can get back to a good economy and that we all can be happy ever after. That's what I hope, right? But what's the right way to get there? I don't know. I don't know.
It seems to me shouldn't like the focus. Don't you want to build the robots then? Forget about the manufacturing job. Just build the robots.
The jobs will come.
You don't want to maintain them. That's downstream work. You want to be the one building the damn robots. Then you could get to control everything. Anyways, it's funny. There's lots of memes out there. There's lots of people talking about it. I mean, I said, it's the uncertainty. At the end of the day, it's the uncertainty that have got people sort of trying to figure out exactly how this works. And I mean, it's interesting, obviously, sitting, here in Canada and looking at it. There's all sorts of stories out there, but it's tough to tell. Are these just anecdotal stories, or are they indicative of what's really happening? And I said that's why I'm just focused on the markets. Like, we don't want to get into the political debate. Is it right? Is it wrong? Like, we don't know. Nobody knows. This has never been done before. So
correct.
It's just craziness at the time being because of that panic and the uncertainty that it's creating. I said, I'm just looking to find out how are the markets going to move and how do I take advantage of it. And that's that's what I love. At least I love that it's giving me a chance to trade.
Absolutely. Again, man, I'm American first before any type of politician, left or right. And if we treated the country like a basketball team, right? When they put a head coach you don't like, at the end of the day, you don't go out there and just start throwing bricks. You support the damn team so the team could win. Right? Then when his term is over, you don't like that head coach, you change him. Right? But if we all get together and support the damn head coach in the organization, we could do something. And that goes for both sides, Democrats or Republicans. But we are so goddamn selfish, right? It's unbelievable. Like, we will go against something else, even if we think that's right, we will go against it. And that's just how humans are, especially us Americans, unfortunately. I'm not like that. I try to be as neutral as I can. But, man, the division is unbelievable. All right, let's do this. Let's divide ourselves into the stock market now and continue with this gappers list because we can go on forever talking about politics. But let's take a look here, guys. Gold is next. GOD this morning. What do we have going on here? Up 4.1. I know this thing's been moving higher, and so has many gold, silver, and all these other stuff. But the problem is they don't intraday trade very well. So for me, they won't be on my list. I actually never watched them, Peter. I'm not sure if you ever put these on your list, but I never actually watched it. But the few times I look back at it, the volume is very light and it doesn't trade very well, so I usually avoid it. What's your thoughts on it?
I have tried to watch it in the past, and you're right. It's the price action movement, the ability to actively trade it, I find very difficult. So yeah, it's never been a good trader.
Yep. So next one. All right, let's talk about, wow, this list changed a lot since we've been talking. I saw Mara, I saw a bunch of Bitcoin stuff on here, but they're all gone now. The only one left is MSTR.
Lenny, Lenny posted an interesting. So I noticed AMD on the list. Like you mentioned, we've got MSTR, which is just called Strategy these days. Anyways, which I still find weird. Anyways,
say again. What?
Just on the. Sorry.
No, I missed the first part. What was it? That Lenny.
Oh, Lenny posted an interesting article about the chips sector that it looks like the Chinese retaliatory tariffs are going to be differentiated based on what they determine to be the country of origin of the chip manufacturing, I'm guessing. So they're suggesting that, Qualcomm, AMD, which outsource manufacturing to Taiwan Semiconductor, will classify the place of origin as Taiwan, whereas Intel, Texas Instruments, ON Semiconductor, and I can't remember what ADI is. Anyways, whatever their company is. What is ADI? Analog Devices, because they I guess don't strictly manufacture with Taiwan Semiconductor, they will be subject to an 84% or higher tariff, because China will classify them as being a U.S. Source of origin, country of origin. So interesting. China's trying to make a point here with some tariffs, and that could be why we're seeing AMD and Taiwan Semiconductor jump up on the list. So thank you, Lenny. That news.
Wow, thanks, Lenny. I appreciate it. As far as that, I see them moving up here. I'm not sure if they're going to trade very well either way, but I'll put on my secondary, if anything. MSTR is the only Bitcoin stuff that's left on this list. The other ones disappeared out of it. We had Matter, we had some other ones on here, Clean Spark, but they're all, I guess, back down below 2%. Hood is the other one that's on some good volume here, 1.3 million. Again, was up 2%, but now also heading back towards that previous day close. So again, just a lot of stuff just kind of wrapping itself around this previous day close line. So I don't really see a whole lot of activity on this one either. And Peter, I think that covers our gap up. I think after that, we're pretty much covered here when it comes to this. So I don't see anything else. Anything you like that's gapping up this morning?
Well, one sector, I guess, that we have to talk about that I'm surprised they're not really gapping up. The only one that's green, actually there's two that are green, but only one that counts, I guess, is JP Morgan. JP Morgan is just barely green. Wells Fargo and Morgan Stanley are just a little red. But let's talk about them as a group, because they all three reported earnings this morning. So we had bank earnings that came out. Don't be shocked, but they all beat their numbers. Can you imagine that? The banks had good quarters, as always. So they delivered well. Now, that being said, the banks, they all sort of reported concerns over the state of the economy. And, they've made statements like, this trade war is causing turbulence. They like to use all these great terms, but they raise concerns that the capital markets might stall and there might be issues. There's tariff turmoil. Anyways, use whatever term you want. The fact is, they still beat their numbers and made more money than ever. Shocking, I tell you. The banks are doing okay. I mean, we heard the statement that came out of the White House during a little, there's always cameras going off in the Oval Office, but how some of the heads of the banks were there, and Trump was congratulating them on the billions of dollars they made earlier this week when he announced the tariff halt. So, so they did well.
Oh my goodness, I'm sure they did. Awesome stuff. It's a kickoff earnings season, guys, so that is exciting. We do have a bunch of ticker names today as far as bank goes, Wells Fargo and some other ones. A lot of them, they're pulling their guidance though, Peter, their future guidance, given that they don't know what is happening. So we're seeing a little bit of a pop here, but not much fireworks, because although they crushed it, we're not getting a lot into the foreseeable future as far as expectation. You're going to see a lot of that happen. Delta did the same thing. All these companies, with the way the market has been moving and the uncertainty of what final tariffs will look like towards the end, they're just pulling their guidance. So you're not getting a whole lot on these earnings. I think we're going to see that a lot next week once we see some of the bigger names like Netflix. The week after that, we're going to see even bigger names like the Max 7s coming. I think Tesla and some other ones are scheduled then. So should be interesting. Heading to our gap down list, it's not a whole lot that looks interesting here. We know these two very well. NAOV is on deck. Nano, again, normally doesn't trade very decent. It is a low flow stock. Has been hitting our gappers list quite a bit here. You can tell on the daily. It's been up and down and just making its way on our gap down and up list over the last couple of days. As we start losing volume, their big day was on the 8th This was Tuesday. Since then, it's just not really tradable with this lack of volume you're getting, plus low flow stocks. So be very careful. Peter, not sure if you have anything to add to this one before I go to STLA.
Yeah, we did see this earlier, the nanovibronics, which makes non-invasive therapeutic devices. They announced they announced on Wednesday that NASDAQ had formally notified them that they regained full compliance with all criteria for continued listing on the capital markets. So basically, they were facing threat of delisting. That's passed. That hasn't stopped them from gapping down. I mean, I guess if you didn't know that, it's usually not good news to hear that the company was almost delisted. So, but yeah, not a great trader.
Yep. So again, not looking good there. Next one is STLA. And this one here is down 2%, 885,000 shares traded. So again, it's been on here all week, really. And again, I just don't see anything great on it. It just trades pretty bad. It trades pretty poorly as far as intraday action. Let's take a look here. Yesterday's 5-minute. And again, just not pretty, man. So won't be on my list. But again, it's been heavily in play given all the automobile news and tariffs and all that good stuff.
And the hits keep coming. They released some of their production and distribution data, and their overall deliveries were down. Shipments were down 9%, with North America down 20%. And just as a reminder, this is Stellantis, which owns a bunch of brands like Peugeot, Ram, Chrysler, Fiat, Jeep. So like we've been talking about, right? They're so multinational. They got brands from all over the world, and you know, their global supply chains are in turmoil with, of course, all this tariff news. They seem to be on the forefront of being hit here from all the automakers. Yesterday we were seeing Ford and GM on the list, as well as Stellantis. Stellantis seems to be the one that's still here. So still, despite all of that, not great trading. Like, it's a shame. I did have it sort of on a secondary list just to see what was going on, but yeah, not a great trader.
Yeah, not good at all. One that we talked about earlier, Peter, you mentioned it, Intel, as you were talking about, was it TSM, I believe?
Yep.
So Intel is on here. They are gapping down 2%, 4.4 million shares traded. Again, it can be a hit or miss on this one. I don't have much luck trading this thing. I'll put it on my secondary list because, again, they do have news and they are getting some movement here. They always get volume, so volume to them is not an issue. Pre-market, they're doing 4.4 is actually normal for them, because when you look at their volume, they always get decent volume. Like, they're in the 120 million for the most part, so volume is not a problem for them. We'll put them on my secondary list given the news you mentioned earlier, Peter. Anything else to add for Intel?
No, I mean, not really. No. Like, again, their news is secondary. They're in the whole chip sector here. I haven't seen anything specific about them in a while, actually. So yeah, I'll continue to focus. AMD's been a good trader, though. If you want to talk chips, it's actually been. I traded it a couple times yesterday. I was surprised by that.
Yeah. Yeah, it did very well yesterday. Actually, I'm usually watching either that one or Nvidia. Today we'll put AMD. Hopefully that continues. Not sure that's the case. Could not, but we'll have it on our list this morning. And I will put Nvidia, of course, on our secondary list. We'll be looking at that as well as we move forward. All right, that covers our list, our gap up and down list, Peter. Anything on the gap down that we haven't covered yet?
Well, I mentioned, some of the banks are up, some of the banks are down. Gap down, we sort of touched on Apple indirectly. Apple is one that I continue to look at. It's, it's sort of at the forefront, I think, of all of this. I mean, as we all know, they manufacture heavily in China. Well, exclusively in China. Actually, I don't even know where they manufacture other than China. I'm sure there's other places, but so obviously that they're going to be impacted, and their stock has been moving differently than the rest of the Magnificent Seven. So I just find them continued. They're interesting to watch. So I'll continue to watch them today just to see what happens. Other than that, yeah, let's see. Tesla's down this morning. Not a surprise there too much. Although they are down when a lot of other stuff is up, but not by much. We're talking about 1/3%, not enough to make our list.
Yeah.
But the volume continues to be good, so I'll continue to watch them. Other than that, pick your favorite out of the Mag 7. Meta's red, Microsoft is green, Nvidia is green, Amazon is red. So, sort of go wherever you want. They're all sort
Yeah.
of hanging around zero. And as we can see from our gappers list, it's a quieter day. I'm thinking the market is tired today because a lot of stuff is not moving big, right? Whereas the rest of the
Yeah.
week we've had big moves, whether it's up or down. Today it feels much quieter, right? We don't have as much stuff on our list. I think everybody's taking a breather and just waiting for, as we said, the next shoe from the tariff millipede to drop. So
Yeah.
see what happens.
Looks like everybody so far is quiet, just besides China and the U.S. And again, I woke up to the headline of China races to 125, but the U.S. race before that, right? Because I thought that they went to 84. The U.S. come back. Are we going back and forth, or China just realized their number was too low and they went up to 125? Like, I'm losing track of all the back and forth. I need like a map, like some kind of a map or a guideline of what's happening with timestamps, Peter, like one of those timelines. The way this is
You know
going.
what? It's funny you say that because I ran across one earlier today. Now you're going to challenge me to find it again.
Yeah.
Here it is. I happen to have one of these.
Oh, nice. Let's take a
So,
look.
look here. Thank you, Yahoo Finance. Let's see if I can get this on the screen here.
Yahoo. Is Yahoo still a thing? That's good.
It still exists. I mean, I wasn't looking for it, but when I was looking for
Hotmail,
news, it came up. So
you still got
there
a
you go,
Hotmail
Carlos.
account.
Here's your timeline. So according to Yahoo Finance, if we go down to the bottom, you can see. So then Trump puts a tariff, and then China puts a counter tariff of 84%, and then there's a pause while increasing the tariff to 145%, and that's where their timeline ends. So
Okay. Right. So there it is. It's a nice website. We definitely need that. Send that link. Is that updated, or is it just like a page, or does that update as we go?
it was just an article here. I'll post it in the chat room. There you go.
Okay.
You got that.
Cool. I wonder if they keep updating. That would be nice.
Yeah.
All right, friends. So that is what we have. Peter, before we go to our chat here over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, subscribe as well, so you can get posted when we go live here. Anything you like that we haven't gone over at all yet?
I think I already mentioned the ones that I'm looking at. So yeah, nothing more.
Yep. Yahoo Messenger. Is Yahoo Messenger still alive? Who uses that? So a lot of people are saying that they use that to get their news.
Does that exist?
Nah, Yahoo does not. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I know this is off topic, but I am going to search this. Yahoo Messenger alive?
I thought they discontinued that.
Oh, maybe not.
I don't know.
No, it's not coming up. It's shut down. Okay, it's dead. You scare me, man. I'm like, what? How can that survive when all these other platforms are dying here? Yes, I did grow up on America Online, yeah.
Oh,
Do,
ICQ. Oh, we're going.
You got
now
mail.
we're going back. It just random story. Since we have a second,
We do.
I remember distinctly. Remember when the Yahoo Messenger was huge? This would be a long time ago. You guys will know exactly when momentarily. When you used to get that creaking door, whenever you got a new message, there was that creaking door sound. Anyways, it was all the rage. We were using it at Nortel at the time when I was working there, and I remember I was sitting in this office, and all I could hear was creaking doors everywhere. The sound of these messages coming in. And I came out of my office because I was on an international conference call, and I came out of my office and the floor was empty. There was nobody. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And there's just creaking door sounds everywhere. As messages were flying back and forth, nobody to receive them. And I ended up going down to the cafeteria, and it was the day of 9/11.
Oh,
And it
wow.
right. And it was just that where everybody was in the cafeteria watching the TV that was there. And I just remember that distinctly, where I walked out and it was Cube City, and I had an office as a director. And anyways, and I had no idea what was going on. No idea. And I went down, and it was one of those things that just sticks with you, right? Because everybody was like, what is happening? this is nobody. Yeah. Anyways, just couldn't
Yeah,
figure it out. It was,
it's crazy. That's one of those events that everybody knows, if you can remember, if you're
yeah.
old enough, that everybody knows what exactly you were doing because it was such
Yeah.
impactful. It was unbelievable.
Well, it's
But yeah,
funny because it was one of those times where you had to talk with your parents at the time. I remember talking with my mom after that, and she's like, she says, I know exactly where I was when Kennedy was assassinated. Like she can remember distinctly what she was doing, what she was eating at the time, exactly like it was. It's just burned into her memory, and it's like those things, right? If you live through those types of events, you
yeah,
remember,
yeah,
right?
absolutely, absolutely.
Anyway.
Wow, it is 9/11. Let's go to you guys. I'm just looking at the time, like everything's that's weird. We were just talking
Yeah.
about that. All right, let's go
Whoa.
to
Jeez.
yeah,
That's
I
freaky.
know.
Yeah, look
A
at
little
that time.
freaky.
Okay.
All right, let's go to you guys. What do you guys like this morning? Let's go to our chats on YouTube and also in our room here. Let's take a look what's happening. What do you guys like this morning? I know it's not a whole lot in our gappers list, but we'll find something to trade today. Are we shorting INTC today? I don't know. I don't know. It looks active. It looks very weak right now. It is on my list, right? Did I put it on here? I did. It's on my secondary. If it keeps moving this well, I might move it up to my main list for sure. Apple, I'm going to trust Apple today. I failed by not trusting it yesterday. You guys saw when we were trading live, and we didn't take that long. And if we would have taken it, would actually would have worked out. Did not get the continuation, but it trades well. It does trade well, especially when the market is moving a little bit erratic. So we'll trust it more today. All in on WTF? No way. That's not happening, man. No way. This we know what we haven't rolled here in a long time is this bad boy. There it is. That's WTF. And that one is so bad we have to have the truck like blow up at the end. That's how bad that one is. POTR is one of our good favorites. Take a look here. We are sliding below the previous day close here this morning. 3.1 million shares traded. POTR is very good. It has a lot of explosive movement. Like if you notice, yesterday Andrew traded this. Got a small move the first time around. The second time around, it just exploded off the VWAP. So that was nice. So let's put it on here on the secondary for me today. We'll see if it actually does anything great. But it's a great scalping ticker though. You get great volume out of it. It's just for me, I need a bigger move sometimes for the way I trade. Here's BABA up 1.2, 4.2 million shares traded. It's my favorite Chinese ticker. I don't mind watching it since I do have the space today for it. I mean, it's not a lot that I like on this list at the moment. So we'll throw it on there. We'll come back and see how that looks a little bit later. POTR, we did look at. Tesla is good. NVIDIA, I do have on my secondary list. Hood, we looked at earlier. And back into the red here, and you're bringing up RGTI as well. Yeah, Hood. I'm not sure here on Hood. Don't know what to think about it. You got some good volume here, pretty flat right now. You know what? I'll let you watch it, Keith. And if you see something good, let us know. Just scream at us in chat. We'll take a look at it. Last but not least, NEM. We'll look at this one. Then we'll head over to our community events and announcements. We've seen this before. I mean, it's light on volume, man. Yeah, it's light on volume, right, Peter? It doesn't trade very well for the way I trade, but I'm not saying it's not in play today. It is up 4.2. Not a lot of stuff is green, but it won't be on my list, man. I don't like the way it trades usually. The price action is not great. So, but again, if you like it, fits your style, I'll go for it.
All right, friends, gold.
Yeah,
I mean, we got a couple of the gold miners that are here because gold prices are up, so that's why we're seeing them pop up. But yeah, again, that doesn't mean that they trade all that well.
Yeah. All right, friends, let's head over to our community events and announcement. I know there's a link of the picture somewhere. Did we post that online yet? Man, you guys took some amazing pictures, especially those photo booth pictures, Peter, that we've been seeing. Some of our members look like rock stars in there. Avio posted it in our chat, in our private chat. But I hope that's posted somewhere for everyone because you guys took some really nice pictures at the Vancouver event. So let's see if we can get that link by the time we do the show here. We'll hand it out to you guys. But for now, it is Friday. Let's see what's happening on this beautiful day.
You mean here? How about all these guys? Hold on a sec.
Go ahead.
There we go.
Look at this GQ guys here, man. Look at this.
Yeah. Look at all these people in our photo booth from the summit event. Yeah, look at them all.
Yeah. It's wild, man. Look at this. You guys all look great. I'm telling you, you guys look like superstar here, man.
Yeah.
Who's this gentleman here with the blue shirt? I mean, he looks like he runs a Fortune 500 company with the glasses and everything. He's crushing it. We need the
Who's this
names.
cat over here on the right? He looks
No,
he
he
looks
just looks like a man, man. He looks like he's ready to
he
jump off
looks
a bike. I don't know
suspicious.
about that
Yeah.
guy.
But anyways,
Uh,
yeah, it's pretty
awesome.
cool. It's look at, like you said, look at all the people that attended. So many members that went to the event, went to the photo booth,
Yeah.
got their pictures taken. So yeah, it's good event. Anyways, it's great.
Yeah. You know, you got a good photographer when everybody comes out good. So he made
Yeah.
them get into really nice poses there. So that's good. All right. Let's jump to it. Friday.
Yeah, it is Friday, of course, which means that last day of the week, and we only have a couple sessions for you. It looks like today we're going to be regaling with two sessions happening at 11 o'clock. So in the chat room, if you wanted to join, Pierre's going to be answering your questions for our elite members. That's good for anybody who has got questions about their trading, the week, any insight that they can gain, and you want to get a little bit of personal touch, then go join Pierre at 11 a.m. in the webinar room. Now, if you've joined the Peak Capital Bootcamp at 11, then you're going to want to be joining this session, which gets you prepared for the upcoming bootcamp, which is happening in May. So it's a great session. Like, we really want you to hit the ground running, and there's a lot of pre-work that you can do to get ready for the boot camp. So if you've already signed up for the boot camp, then you can attend this session. It's in the meeting room. You'll have the link. You just have to go to the P Capital Trading website and you can get the link and get in there. But that's 11 o'clock with Mike. You know, we recommend everybody attend if you've already signed up for boot camp, because it gets you prepped for that session. If you haven't signed up for boot camp, it is not too late whatsoever, right? This is pre-work. This is just getting you ready for the intensive work that you're going to be doing in boot camp to help improve your trading. If you're interested, well, then you can join. Our platinum offer is the best way to do that, frankly, because it essentially gives you the chat room for free. It's just the cost of the boot camp. We throw in the chat room. We throw in that $50,000 funded account. It's really a great deal. So check that out. You can join through P Capital Trading, or you can join through Bearable Traders. Either way, and you'll get that same platinum deal. If you're not ready for that type of commitment, we get it. You can join using the basic or elite monthly packages, or of course the elite annual, which just gives you access to the Bearable Traders community, all of our webinars and information, all of the psychology courses, that all of that stuff comes with the elite package at Bearable Traders. All right. If you are interested or you have any questions, we're always here to answer, right? Basically, take any of our first names, put at bearabletraders.com, and we will answer you. So Carlos, Peter, Andrew, Mike, you know, we're all here. We're happy to answer your questions about community memberships, about the boot camp. You know, ask away, right? Don't say, geez, I'm not sure and I don't know how it works. Ask the question. We're happy to give you whatever answers we can. Okay. If you wanted to get information on the markets, though, the one thing we haven't mentioned in a couple of days, don't forget, tradingterminal.com. It's out there. It's got all the information, especially as we're heading into earnings season. You're going to want to reference that regularly. We use it every morning to get the scanners. They're free and available. Or you can get this calendar of events that tells you what's upcoming. It's going to get busier as we get back into earnings season. It feels like we just left earnings. This could be a very interesting one, right? Producing earnings on top of this economic uncertainty we were just talking about could make it a very interesting earnings season. So stay tuned. It's coming up, getting a little more intense next week, and then, of course, the week after. Mohammed is asking, how many weeks does the boot camp run? Normally, it's about 14 weeks. It's just over 3 months. So this boot camp will go from May the 5th, I think, through to probably about August the 2nd or 3rd or something like that. So it's pretty intensive it's a 3-month course, basically.
Yep.
So, all right. All right, there you go. Carlos, let's set some levels. We got to get ready for this market open. I see Anders in the room already, and Brian, I'm sure, is getting ready to go himself.
All right, absolutely. Once Andrew and Brian join, I will disconnect from chat. We'll continue here over on YouTube. Friends on YouTube, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. 152. We'll love to be a little bit higher if we can. But let's get to it, guys. Tesla, let's start there this morning. High of the pre-market. We're sitting just at a 254.95, so we'll slam a level there, and then towards the bottom we're sitting just at 245.80. So again, very tight range this morning as we wrap ourselves around the previous day close. And once you look at the bigger picture, you're just surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. Next on here is going to be AMD. Same thing, we're surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, so we're going to see a lot of that as we got again the drop, the big day, the middle inside day, and then today even a tighter range from the inside day. So again, we're just kind of staying put here until we see what's the next headline that takes us one direction or the other. Low of the pre-market on AMD is going to be 87.93. The top is 90.99. So we'll mark those 2 and you're set. And then very easy levels today because everything is, again, since we're surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, are covering the outside parts of the levels. Making levels today is going to be a breeze, guys. AMD high of the pre-market 193.01, and then towards the bottom just mark down 186.97, and you're set. I mean, if every day could be this easy on levels, we'll be rocking and rolling here. But that's pretty much it. These are my main tickers for right now. Since we got a little bit of time, let's do Nvidia, because I know a lot of people are going to be watching this one. So we'll do Nvidia, then we'll hand it off to Peter to let us know what our team is watching. 106.68 towards the top, and then towards the bottom 109.94. And again, as I mentioned before, surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. So very interesting candle yesterday on Nvidia, by the way. Nice bounce back there. Let's see if that means anything for us today. All right, Peter, let's tell the team what they're watching, what our mods are watching this morning, and we'll get ready for live trading.
All right, you bet. Our mods are getting their lists up and ready. And I see the first one in today was Jared. He's going to be watching JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Morgan Stanley. So definitely focused on the banks. Secondary list is going to be the Magnificent Seven. Lenny's going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, AMD, Apple, Taiwan Semiconductor, Intel, and JP Morgan. Thor is going to be watching AMD and Tesla. Nathan watching the Magnificent Seven and AMD. Brendan's taking a look at Tesla, NVIDIA, Intel, and PLTR. Andrew is keeping it tight, watching NVIDIA, Tesla, and PLTR. Pierre, who's doing that session later today, is going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, Apple, and AMD. Phil is going to be watching Tesla, NVIDIA, and PLTR. Brian has got on his list Tesla, NVIDIA, PLTR, AMD, Texas Instruments, TXN, and the SPY, of course. I'll be watching Apple, Tesla, and NVIDIA as usual. Also keep an eye on AMD, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Taiwan Semiconductor. So you can see a lot of commonality there. Surprisingly, I've got no IPOs to let you know about today. Usually Fridays when we get some. Today it doesn't look like anything's queued up. And Mike is out with his watch list, going to be watching Tesla and NVIDIA, very focused. So we'll see what moves today. I think, I'm hoping that we get some good market action. Could be interesting. Of course, you remember, news throws a wrench into everything. Could be good, could be bad, depends on what side of the trade you're on, or if you can take advantage. Just, be very aware of the news. Leverage chat room or community if you can, because it's better to get more eyes on the situation, and they'll let you know when things are happening, although we'll probably see it in the pricing first before we figure out why. So yeah, just be careful out there, be smart whatever you do, and let's have a great trading Friday after what has been a very, very interesting week. So we're going to go to live trading here, as you said, as Brian and Andrew get themselves all kitted up and ready to go. We've got 6 minutes until the market open, and I'm hoping that, like I said, hoping it's going to be a good day.
Yep, absolutely. Let's get our charts ready. 5 minute, 1 minute, and we'll disconnect from chat now. I see Brian is on and ready to go, so we'll disconnect from our chat room and continue right here on YouTube. All right, so setting up 5 minute, 1 minute is what I'm looking at. So here's our 5 minute. Here's our 1 minute. We'll bring Peter in and we'll get rocking and rolling, guys. TSM got some earnings today or something. No, they had news today. Was it earnings, Peter? I think it was just some headline.
Who? No, TSM? No, it was tariff news. China is claiming Taiwan as their own, and at least on the tariff front, and declaring a moratorium for any chips they deem manufactured or a point of origin being Taiwan, and they're going to put heavy tariffs on any chips that they deem as not having a point of origin of China or Taiwan. So
interesting. All right, let's see what kind of day it's going to be. It's been a pretty rough week, friends. So hopefully we will get some good opportunities, some clean trading today. I do miss that. We haven't seen that all week. At least I haven't. So let's see how today goes. But
Yeah,
in that same
you've
tone
had a
though,
rough
I'm gonna
time with it.
say I'm not gonna push it, Peter, because we know how this is. I'm not gonna be try to be a hero today, right? Market's gonna be
There you
here next
go.
week. You know, if we don't get it today, we'll get it next
Hmm.
week. So gotta
Speaking
be
of next
patient.
week,
Mm-hmm.
next week, Easter, which means that the markets are closed on Good Friday. We've got a shortened week next week. So, not that you need to do anything about that now, but remember, we got day off. So you have a long weekend coming
Yeah.
up.
I think my kids they kick off the 14th is when they're off for spring break, which is next week. Yeah, next week actually. So yeah,
Spring
good
break.
stuff.
That's not in March?
No, in Miami, I think Florida does it in March, but we do it now. So a lot of the school systems here do it next week.
Hmm.
So it's weird. New York, I think, in
Okay.
some places do it differently too. So
All right. We Ontario schools definitely do it in March. So
yeah.
spring break already happened.
Uh, Matt Props on our YouTube chat. As a breakout trader, do you change anything on Fridays when it could be a little slower and less continuation? Do you trade other strategies? I don't change much because, again, Fridays have not been slow. Given all this news we've been getting, as far as the market overall kind of slumping down a little bit, it hasn't really been slow. Um, so yes, it is slower. Now, what I do on Fridays, I am more cautious. I was making sure I'm follow my rules because, again, I don't like to go into my weekend knowing that I didn't follow my plan. Right? That's not cool because you got 2 days to harp on it and think about it, and I just want to make sure I go in. I did the right thing. So that's you should do that every day. But like I tell people, there's something about Fridays that's special that I think you really got to focus on trading correctly. It's just what I think.
Mm-hmm. Next week it'll be Thursday. You need to focus correctly because you have one extra day to obsess over what you did.
I know, right? Oh man, I started thinking like that when I used to have these really bad Fridays where I just will go hawk and have like 50 trades in and out, in and out, and at the end of the Friday, it's like I'm red with a tons of commissions. Like, what did I do? I wasted a whole day just trying to get a move that never came, opposed to focusing on trading well, right? And it's usually the cost of that is trying to end the day green or come back from a loss. So doesn't happen when you have really good days. It happens when you're down. So
Right.
kind of set those rules and habits, kind of help a little bit. Intel is very interesting, guys. I moved it up on my list because if you look at the way this thing is dropping right now, it is rather interesting. 5.3 million shares traded, down 3.2. Yeah, I like the movement we're getting there. Yeah, Anthony. I mean, yeah, if we can end the week on a green day, absolutely. But that's not something you can control. And I learned that very quickly. You don't control what are going to be your green days. You can control though, when you trade well, when you follow your rules. That's under your control. But the outcome, you have no control over that. That's going to be random. It could be Monday, it could be Tuesday, it could be any day of the week. Can't control that. So my job is just to trade well, follow the plan. If the outcome pays out, great. And if it doesn't, great either way, as long as I did what I was supposed to. Bank earnings, yeah, the banks are not moving a lot, guys, because they pulled their guidance, right? So JP Morgan reported, who else? West Fargo reported, but usually we get like a gap up,
Yep.
and they crushed it, right?
Yeah.
But
Oh,
there's
yeah.
no future
Morgan
guidance.
Stanley was
So
the other one.
remember, what moves the prices on banks is our earnings usually is the future guidance. Nobody really cares about what you did before unless you really screwed up. They care about what are you going to do in the future, and these guys are not providing any guidance given the way the market is. All right, Peter's alarm went off about 50 seconds ago. 10 minutes to the
Yep.
market open. Let's
10 seconds.
let's rock and roll here. Let's make this
Here we
happen.
go. 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Let's see what we
There it
get here
is.
on this fine, fine morning.
All right, let's do this. We are set, friends. Guys, if you see something great on YouTube, let us know. Just throw it in there. If you see any good opportunities. Let's take a look at Tesla shooting up here. Nvidia shooting up. Overall market also moving higher at the moment. Apple.
Yep.
Ooh, Intel's dropping some more, man. This thing is, the weakness is real on Intel.
Yeah, it just dropped right out of the gate. Didn't even give a pullback opportunity.
Nothing, just straight down after selling off all pre-market. So again, just a lot of weakness on Intel right now. All right, let's see what the action is. So here it is. A bit of a pullback on the 1 minute. Well, not even a pullback, just like a slight small pop, 10 cents pop on Intel. Yeah, Intel, Jose, I'm going to be very cautious with this one because I don't trade it well. But it is moving well today as far as the movement. But for the most part, it's not a stock that I run to. I'll tell you that much. They are very difficult to trade at time. But the volume is good today, man. 3.1 just in that 1 minute. This one here already at 1.1. So you are getting tons of volume on this thing. Good morning, Nick. Good to see you. Tesla, nice opening, 1 minute opening range breakout. I don't trade that, but that's pretty good there. Let's see if it can hold. Gave you a nice signal. For my system, INCC could be good. Pig Wrestler, yeah, just great comment, right? For your system, right? Because everybody's system is different, and that's important. And keep that in mind, guys. As you're trading as a group here, if you're watching, when I say something doesn't look good, I'm specifically referring to the way I trade, right? So if you have a different trading style, if something looks good, do not take my comment on that, right? Trade your style, trade your strategy, regardless of whatever anybody else says, right? What could look crap for me could be gold for you. Intel. Intel looks like it wants to go further down.
Oh, and look at NVIDIA drop.
Yeah,
markets are going down.
Here. Yeah. AMD's holding. Nice bounce off the VWAP coming up to minute 3 here.
Unfortunately, Apple is holding. I've gone short Apple at VWAP here, and I'm hoping for a drop, but it's holding here more than I want it to, so that's not good.
I'm gonna try long AMD here. I like this setup.
I got a horrible fill on Apple too.
The bounce off VWAP on AMD, so let's see if we can get a nice little pop here. I don't like that the market is selling off, but AMD seems to be trying to do its own thing. So let's see where it goes. Stop for me, 90.63 will jump out. But let's see if we can get a nice little move up here. And Intel continues to drop. Wow. Look at Intel drop here, friends. It is just
Intel's
getting destroyed. Do we get a pullback? Here. I would love to take this short if we can get a pullback. All right, so we'll long AMD. Let's see if that's going to hold. Intel could have been the trade today, friends, but man, it is gone. Like, it is not giving us no pullback here to enter at all. Man, look at that go. Apple, Intel back and forth here. I mean, AMD back and forth, trying to go higher.
Intel's a trade. Apple's giving me a hard time here. It's barely coming back to my break even. It's almost stopped me out. Came very close to stopping me out. So I need a drop here through 187. I'm looking for a move down to 186. But it's not looking great here for me on a short. It's
You're in which one, Peter?
Apple.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but it's showing some strength here. I thought it would pop up to VWAP and get some resistance and then drop, but instead, it just stopped me out. So, unfortunately, that didn't work.
Yeah, things are moving higher. Let's see if in this move up, Intel can give us a pullback. I'll get in on Intel short. This looks weak. I think Intel is going to be a nice short today. So let's see if we can get a pullback. It's down 7.3, and then we can. It's not giving us no pullback. It's saying nope. I don't think so, man. I'm just gonna keep dropping.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you no pullback whatsoever on Intel. All right, so AMD continues here. Let's see where AMD goes. But this is the play. Intel is the play today. Intel's going to pull back off the demand zones. Watch out. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the pullback on Intel and see if we can get a short. But I'm not gonna chase it here because then I'll get stuck in the pullback. So we won't do that. All right, high of the day on AMD here, friends. Let's see if we can get a nice continuation going today. Andrew did trade Tesla, already took a partial towards the high of the day, so he got that. Okay, now we're in the money on AMD here. Oh, what a horrible fill. It's the purple triangles. I mean, the pink triangles are throwing me off. The pink triangles are not getting me great fills. Look at that, how bad that was. Like 10 cents from where I hit the button. Wow. Not cool, AMD, not cool. Or not cool, Mr. Interactive Brokers, as we like to call it. All right, so this is what's been happening, right? We get a move, a slight pop up, take a partial, and then right back down to break even. I'm gonna just wait a little bit here because I think there's still a move in this if we can get a continuation, but we're just not getting these continuations. This has been the song and dance all week, Peter. Like this, just we're not getting the move. You know.
Yeah.
So partial here. Let's see if we can hold above the VWAP. And if we go to the high of the day, I'll take another partial again because I just don't trust that we're gonna move higher. I mean, I shouldn't think that way, but that's what's been happening to me on all these stocks I've been trading this week, which we had 7 trades this week. It's a low number. With this one, Tesla long. I thought the Tesla pulled back. Did it? Yeah, it's holding. It's holding right now, so that's not bad. And Intel. You guys take Intel short. That was the big winner today. Intel.
Apple just continues to move opposite the market, so it's I got stuck on Apple. Shame on me.
All right, AMD. Can we do something? AMD, let's go. Let's break the high of the day. How does the daily look on AMD? Pretty much like everything. Pretty much like every SPY type chart so far. High of the day on AMD. I'm gonna get ready to take another partial here. I want to be as patient as possible and as aggressive at the same time, and you can't do both. All right, we'll take a partial here.
On green.
It's
totally wrong on Apple.
Yeah, it's just again just doing what the market is having its way on these tickers, man. Unfortunately, and it's just not great. All right, here you go. AMD. Let's get to 93. Oh, right. Now we're talking. Finally, something that works and just keeps on going. You guys seen me all week. You know how it's been. It's been tough. This is a great.
That's what I like to hear. Happy Carlos.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, I'm happy all the time, but this is exciting, Carlos. Oh man, about time we did something. AMD 92.95. Yes. Well, yeah, we're through that. Broke the high of the day. Let's see if we can continue. And if you're wondering why we have pink triangles, if you missed us, it's because when I go short in red candles, you can't see the red, right? So very hard to see. So we made them pink. So that's the reason why that's there. Apple crushed me, but AMD made it good. Glad to hear that, man. Yeah, AMD's. We're trading Peter's favorite ticker today.
Mm. Yeah, and I'm not. So
let's see if the continuation happens here. If it goes below 93.25, I'll take another partial just to not bring too many units back down. I want to keep as much as, yeah, let's just, you know what? Let's do it now. I think we're going to probably drop lower here. So might still be a pullback, still in play, but I don't want to take a lot of shares to my break-even point. Where's Andrew Assis? I just started reading his book, and he's amazing. He is the best day trader probably in the world, man. He really is. I think if he's not this, he's top 3, top 5. I mean, he is really that good. And I don't know anybody else that's better. I really don't. And we know a lot of the people that are out there publicly. And again, day trading, right? There's other traders are probably better at swing trading, investments, obviously. But day trading, he's the best. And where is he? He's right here. I'll show you where he is. There he is. He's here trading Tesla and some other ones from his beautiful office. And there's Brian with him. So if you want to see that in our chat, you can head over to bearwithtraders.com. We do got some deals for you guys. You guys can join and watch him trading, him and Brian trading live there. But great, man. One thing he would tell you is if you're reading his book is give him an honest review. He loves to hear back from you guys. So give him honest feedback on YouTube. You know, that's his thing. All right, so AMD's pulling back. Since I've taken enough partials, I can hold on here to see if we get back towards the high of the day. We are bouncing off the 9 right now on the 1 minute. So let's see. Let's see if we can get something going here. In the meantime, we'll look at any other opportunities. Intel finally leveling off here. This is not a pullback I trust to come back down, though. So yes, Andrew Link. Andrew does read his emails 100%. Just yesterday, he a member, someone, not a member, I don't know if he's a member or not, someone messaged him, hey, I missed onboarding class, how can I join? He responds back, Carlos can get you the video and copy me on it, so I got to send that person a copy of the video because they couldn't make it. But yeah, he responds to his emails, man. He is very, very good at that, actually. And I'm sure he gets a ton of emails.
That he does.
Anshita Sharma, welcome. If you're new, subscribe and just give the room a shot. Do a trial membership. See what the environment's all about. And, you know, if it fits your style, we'd love to have you. But thank you for tuning in. Mr. R, you up 100%. So glad to hear that, man. Awesome. Awesome. Apple.
Look at Apple. Apple's just,
I know.
Just telling me you were so wrong, Peter.
Apple's telling you you should have flipped your position. But you know, someone who mentioned this in chat, Apple does this all the time where it's just quietly grinds higher and higher. It did this a couple of days ago too, and I didn't trust it. Remember that? In fact, I think it was yesterday, before yesterday. And I didn't trust the move because I've just been getting chopped up all over the place. And looking now, Apple is saying, I'm just still here, minding my business, selling iPhones to people that have brand new iPhones, getting them into a payment plan of $60.99 a month, $1,000 phone. Yep. All right, AMD hitting 93.93, 93.93 as the high of the pre-market, of the high of the day here. Let's see if we can go higher. I think it wants 94 maybe. If it does,
you almost got 94. It was a high 93, 93. Yeah, like you said. Here we go. There you
There we
go.
go. Let's get one here. Well, here you see in this, I hit it here, man. This partial. Look how bad I got filled. No, sorry, not this. It was this one. It was this one here. I got filled pretty badly, but this is good. See, sometimes they take care of me. This is a good fill. That's a really good fill. It's not always bad. Got to call out the good and the bad. But AMD looks strong, man. AMD wants to go here. I say go for Apple. Yeah, I even after I saw it today. Well, Peter was short Apple, so I was not gonna go against Peter. I'll tell you that much.
No, you trade against me. You
Peter
would
was
have been
going.
right.
Yeah,
I was trying. I thought we could get a nice little bounce. I was trying my Rise of Devil. It looked weak. The market looked
yeah,
weak. I mean, everything lined up. I'd probably take the trade again if given the opportunity. But
yeah, yeah.
just clearly now I can see I was wrong.
Any news? Market is starting to get nicely in the green. Andrew's back long on Tesla, and things are just seem to be moving higher. AMD, let's go. Okay, we might do very nice on this one here. AMD's doing this thing. But before we go crazy on how good this turns out, guys, it's the same thing every time, right? We look at the pop. This case, we don't have the VWAP in play as the breakthrough, but we do have it as support. This candle looks great in here. The price action looks nice. We tested the VWAP again and then finally got the breakout. But this type of setup is not a 5-minute ORB because, again, we're getting in before the 5-minute, but we do wait at least 3 minutes. And when we see this kind of wavy setup, it's usually again, I love this setup, and every time I see it, we take it, right? It's like the pop up, the drop down, and then the break up, and that's when we go long. So usually happens between 3 to 5 minutes is when we see that usually. And when it trades well, if you look at the 5-minute, it ends up being a good 5-minute ORB anticipation. But again, we didn't trade as a 5-minute ORB, so it's important to understand how we traded it, so we can repeat it again if it does come up. All right, let's see what else. How's Intel? Did we get Intel's getting a bounce? Wow, Intel back above VWAP. Do we trust Intel to push towards the high of the day here? It's been so weak all morning. Very difficult. Especially after it gaps up in the same direction, works really well. It is actually my main setup. Nice. Which one? The one we just explained now? That's awesome. That's pretty cool. All right, SPY's pushing higher. Intel. Oh, you took the bounce on Intel. Good. It worked out pretty well here. Higher highs, higher lows. Into the VWAP. If you get a green candle here, this could be a good long. Like you got the breakout, but then these candles are not confirming anything right now. If this one can go green, that could be a good long opportunity if we stay above the VWAP. But let's see. Right now it's not looking great. It's looking like it's actually going to bounce off the VWAP in the other direction because you didn't get the nice green continuation candle here. So let's see what it does. See a couple of people mentioning GME. Yeah, I don't know. Volume is light. It does have like a nice pattern of the 9. Nice 5-minute ORB breakout, but again, with that type of volume, I don't know if I would have taken this trade. Is that like a bull flag breakout now you're getting on the 5-minute, right? I think kind of like a bull flag breakout, right? So you're getting here. So if you trade that, maybe I don't trade that, but looks like it wants to go long. All right, AMD's trying to hold on the 9. Baba breaking lower. Oh yeah, Baba's losing it here.
Yeah, Baba is dropping pretty hard here off of went up and tested VWAP and then dropped from there. Very choppy though before that, so hard to would have been hard to trade that one.
Yeah. Also, these wicks on the 5 minute give me like a long type of feel. Right, like it's a
Mhm.
lot of buying pressure. It's hard to go short when you're seeing higher highs, higher lows, and all this buying pressure. That's a tough trade. Um, here. All right, so AMD now. What I'm going to do on AMD, I'm just going to wait for it to break down below the 20. So I'm going to use the 20 now. This one here, that's my stop, right? So it's kind of leveling off here right now. So you can see some of the weakness settling in, kind of turning a little bit. Let's see if it goes to the 9 and continues. But if it breaks down below the 9, I'm sorry, below the 20. If it breaks down below the 20, then I use that as my stop. We'll get all out here. But we got a nice little cushion here from the entry. So if it breaks down below there, we'll jump out. Tesla breaking down. I think Andrew is short for the breakdown below the previous day close. Partialed already. Nice drop. And yeah, he's traded this a couple of times. All really good trades. It's just he's not getting the continuation. And that's the problem that a lot of us been having, right? Like even the entry at 945, long, nice, partial, stopped out of break even, right? It's just that's what happens in choppy markets. You see your setup and you just don't get the go. Yeah, let's see. Let's see if it holds here. But if it breaks down, there's no point in me holding it no more. So we're testing the 20 right now. As the SPY's trying to go towards the high of the day. Hopefully, can drag AMD with it. And we'll see. 7 eyelashes. It just sounded like, I don't know. It sounded good. Let's look at Tesla.
7 eyelashy.
Yeah, let's see. See, look at this madness. Down, right back up to the previous day close.
Yeah,
This is a
that's hard
tough time to trade, guys. So if you're struggling this week, like I have the last couple of days, it is a tough market. Trust me, we've been doing this for a long time, and it's been a tough market back to back to back days. So just ease off the brake if you're struggling. It'll be back to normal. I mean, ease off the
It,
accelerator, not the brakes. Tap the brakes.
there
That's
was
what we're gonna do.
that good quote that I can only paraphrase that said
Yeah.
like modern warfare is in indeterminable periods of boredom interspersed with brief moments of sheer terror. That's what it feels like the market is
Yeah.
recently.
That's a
I can't remember the exact
great.
quote, but basically we spend
Where's
long
that quote
periods of
from?
time in chop. What's that?
Where's that quote from?
I can't remember. Was it
That's
Churchill that said that
that's
or
good.
somebody? Anyways, I can't. Probably a general somewhere that said
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
Uh, here.
That is good. If you ask Peter a question and he doesn't know, he's gonna look for it. Like somebody said,
Yeah, exactly.
he's gonna look for it. Spy.
Yeah. War
Higher.
described as indeterminable boredom punctuated by moments of terror. So I feel like that's what the market's like, right? If you look, right, we were chop, 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 and then an announcement comes out and the market shoots in a direction. And you're like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
anyways.
100%. Peter Carlos, do you consider the broader QQQs or SPY when determining whether or not to enter a trade? Rising both lifts all ties. I look at it. I prefer not to go against it unless something is really giving me heavy signals that it is, right? So again, it's like anything, right? I have my criteria I look for. The first thing is the price action, the pattern, the price action, the volume. Like these are things that have to be present, right? That are on my trade book. Things that I would like to see, the SPY going in the same direction. A catalyst that's positive, right? They don't have to be present. You can still get an amazing trade with these criterias, but if I can see these are great, right? And another pattern within my pattern. What do I mean by that? Let's say if I was trading a 5-minute RB, and within that 5-minute RB on the 5-minute, there's an A, B, C, D pattern. There's not one here, but there's another mini pattern within that pattern. That's also a plus, because now I know other traders like you guys or anybody else that's trading an ABCD pattern is going to join the party, right? And the more people that join the party in that direction, you know, the higher the likelihood is of a continuation happening with volume, right? So I look at it, but you know, it's preferred, not 100%. I'm not going to take a trade because of the SPY's moving up or down. So,
right.
Peter, how about you? Do you do something similar or?
Yeah, similar, but you know, I have slightly different criteria, and I also think it's really important to, you know, understand your criteria well enough to know not to jump at shadows and not to jump in when you don't see it. So if you can pull up a chart on Wells Fargo, for example, I've been watching Wells Fargo this morning, and you know, it was looking weak. I was looking for my Rising Devil at the open and wanted to see what it was going to do. I watch a 1-minute chart. Which just because, you know, that's sort of what I trade off of. But the point is, you know, if you look at this 5-minute chart even, or a 1-minute, I mean, look at this. This looks ugly, right? So yeah. As much as I'm thinking it just looks weak and it might want to go short, you know, I've got to obey the signals I see. It's not giving me any volume signals. At the open, I was looking for a Rising Devil. You can see how it spiked through the VWAP. I was going to go short, but missed the entry. And it came down very, very quickly. And I wasn't going to go chasing this thing because that eroded my risk to reward. So I've been waiting for another opportunity. But, you know, in the meantime, to me, what this chart clearly shows is a series of higher lows and higher highs, right? So you could sort of draw a very weak upward trend off of those lows and then the slightly higher highs. There you go. See, Carlos can see that too. So as much as I'm thinking, look, it looks weak below VWAP, I'm not going to let my predisposition to looking for a short trade influence me to take a trade that might not be, you know, that might not be warranted or certainly wise. So I don't know where this is going to go. This is a short answer, right? Because it did have that upward trend. Yes, it's sitting right below VWAP, but it doesn't have enough of my required criteria for me to take a short. So I'm going to sit out, right? I'm going to wait for an opportunity that really does line up. Yeah. You know, even AMD, you were trading AMD, you know, and you've got a long trade in it. Well, you know, I'm a contrarian. I'm always looking for the short. And I was thinking, oh, look, you know, AMD, look, it hit a high, it pulled back, it retested again, right? Just a couple of minutes ago, just 4 minutes ago. And I was thinking, oh, maybe this is like my Mountain Pass type short play that I could take it, right? I could take it down to VWAP. But, you know, then I look at, you know, a volume queue is an important thing I look at, and it's got lowered volume throughout that entire process. The high of day, the retest of the high, like there's really sort of just dropping volume, which means I don't actually know which direction this is going to go. It could go higher or it could go lower. And, you know, just because like it could very well right now go to VWAP for all I know. And you would say, oh, you know, like the trade was right there. Sure, but the probability of success was no better than a flip of a coin. And I want a better probability than that, which is why, you know, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for my setups. I'm going to wait for my criteria to be met and then enter a trade. So, you know, it's it's really trading over the long period is about having a set of criteria that you trust enough to trade only when it's present and not trade when it's not, because you can get a lot of false positives, right? You can get a lot of instances where you didn't have all your criteria, but it still worked. And you can get tempted to say, well, then, you know, I should have traded it. And then you go and trade it and wonder why you lost, you know, 5 of the next 7 trades, right? And then you get all frustrated. You're like, damn it, why didn't that work? Well, because it wasn't a real reliable signal. It was just chance that it happened to work when this, you know, when the signal wasn't there. So that's my opinion anyways. You're on mute, Carlos.
Oh, I'm just agreeing. So it makes perfect sense and full agreement, you know, so yeah. As AMD here just kind of stay stuck. We might be losing the 20 here.
Big Wrestler, you're asking about a Mountain Pass on NVIDIA. So, you know, pattern-wise, sure, sort of looks like it, but it's too early. right? 10 a.m. too early for me to invest in a mountain pass. So yeah.
What is the SPY doing? Did you see that? Popped up, back down, popped up again. It was very weird. I'm not sure if you
Right.
guys are looking at it. Yeah.
And sometimes you can miss trades. We were just a second ago talking about Wells Fargo, and what did I say? I was looking for a short, and I
Yeah.
wanted it to drop, and look what it just did.
Yeah. Dropping.
Right? It did drop, but again, not a very strong signal. Like, just because it worked doesn't mean it was a good trade, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
I'll just sit and wait.
Yeah. That entry is so important. Chicago sentiment, is
We
that what it is? We got something.
we did have some
Okay.
economic news that just came out a minute ago. Let me call it up here. I can tell you exactly what the numbers were. This is the Chicago. It was Michigan consumer sentiment, which is just a relative scale. Is expected to be 54 on the scale. It came out at 50.8, which would show a weakening consumer sentiment. I suppose that shouldn't be a surprise. I would think with all this uncertainty, consumer
Yeah.
sentiment would be dropping. And this puts it at a very low level. It hasn't been this low, by the way, for what it's worth, this consumer sentiment number, since 2022. So mid 2022.
Mm.
So there you go.
All right, SPY's going low. It's probably going to drag my AMD down. I'm right at 20. I would have kept holding this thing here, but I just think with that, things are going to go south. So I'm just going to take everything out. We had an amazing trade. I don't want to bring back a lot of this stuff. But it held at 20 really nice, and this is why I use, once it got a little bit of cushion off the entry, the 20, like once it gets past your break even, the 20 comes in play. So this is what I usually use as my stop. And you can see how well it was going here. But now with this news, the SPY going red, there might be a chance this goes lower. I don't want to be part of it. So we'll take everything off here. And again, just great trade to end the week, man. So let's see. Pig Wrestler wants just one trade for me as far as
I'm a little
willing to
jealous.
break even.
A little jealous.
You had your great trades, man. You had your good trades.
I
You
had
actually,
I had some good trades earlier in the week, certainly.
yes, you
Yeah.
did. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna shine a little bit today, Peter, if that's okay. Oh man, good stuff. Very nice. Most of my profits today on AMD as well. Yeah, AMD was good. And again, it all comes down to a lot of it to what stocks are you watching. Like if I would have taken another one that probably has similar setup and didn't get the continuation, Apple would have got the continuation. Very nice this morning as well. Similar setup. That happens too because we had some really good entries like throughout the week, and the signals were perfect. We just didn't get the move, right? So, but yeah, thank you. I have a couple of partials set up. I actually have 10%, which is usually my normal. I have 20, and I also have 50%. But usually I do 10 starting out, and then as I get higher, and I think okay, this might be a chance to reverse, I'll do 50 or 20, because usually for the 5-minute RB, things usually come back. But 10% is nice because it keeps me in the trade. Like this was 10%, this was 10%. And if we can get going, it's nice. And then here, I start looking at 20 or 50, usually 20. And if I really feel it's going to turn around, I'll take a 50 if we had a really good move. So very, very simple hotkeys. Made 10R today, back to simulator now. Jeff, that's awesome, man. What did you make that on?
Nice.
That's great. You're pulling some good numbers. Good. Apple is nice. Intel.
Actually, my question would be, Jeff, that's great that you made 10R. I assume that was live because you're saying back to simulator. But why back to simulator? Like, if you're trading well, why not continue to trade or call it a day? Like, unless you're testing something specific, why go back to simulator and just play around?
Yes,
that can actually develop into bad habits. So, anyways, think about it. I mean, if you're testing something specific, but
yes, I agree. it's hard to go back to sim after trading live. And if you're able to do that, kudos to you. But for me, going back to sim, and again, just being brutally honest, it might sound wrong, seems like a waste of time at this point, Pierre. I don't know if you feel that way, but for me, it's like, hey, I'm gonna go trade sim now after I had a good AMD trade. It's tough. It's tough to do, and I'm not the only trader that feels that way. I had other traders feel this way, as well. I know Andrew one time even mentioned this, like, I'd rather just not trade opposed to going back to sim, because people were telling him, we want to keep seeing you trade, but Andrew made his money for the day, and why keep trading, right? So it's a tough thing to do.
It is indeed. So it's funny how all the trades I called out I said, here's what they might do, but don't take them. They all worked. It's one of those times where you're like, people are gonna. Anyways.
Well, Pig Wrestler, you're saying the same thing Peter said. You're saying the same thing Peter said. Like, unless you're testing something, practicing your entries, practicing a strategy, are you going back to sim to keep trading instead of trading live? So it's the same thing. You guys not saying anything different. That's practice, right? If I go back to sim to practice my hotkeys, that's practice, right?
Yeah.
Opposed to, I'm gonna go back to sim, sit around and wait for things to happen. When you have your strategy, well, why not just trade it live, right? But it's different for everybody. There's no right or wrong answer. At the end of the day, you do what works for you. But we're just curious because I know that from our experience, again, guys, we work with so many traders, that has created more bad habits than good, for a lot of people. So just be aware of it. Make a sound decision. Tesla. Intel might be like, it did the low and it's just going here. Some of you guys took the actual reversal on this. So very nice.
Wow. Look at the bounce off the lows here on everything.
Yeah, look at the SPY. Look at the SPY right now. It's just putting in a really nice candle upwards towards the high of the day. I don't think I think Apple's gonna go, man. I think Apple's going. Why couldn't this happen before I get out of my trade? What is going on? I'm really happy with my trade. I'm not complaining at all. It was great. We didn't have that much left anyway, but I want to be just part of the action. I just want to be in the party, and the party seems to be getting started here.
Wells Fargo, that I'm still looking at, had a pretty aggressive bounce off the low there that it set, and tech stocks moving up as well. Maybe some short-term news. What happened?
Yeah, not sure. Getting some action here. Let's see.
I don't see any market news really.
Oh, nobody mentioned POTR. You guys didn't look at POTR. Oh, that's what nobody mentioned. This pure garbage. Okay. That's
it's sort of
nobody
choppy
been mentioning
today.
it. Yeah, it's really choppy. Usually I'm being streamed at POTR, but not today. This is pure trash this morning, so that's why I'm not hearing it. Okay, that makes sense. TSM has some news earlier today. Didn't do anything really. Intel still waiting on that 2-hour bounce. Yeah, it takes a while to get going because the prices, right? So you got to take. You don't have to do anything, but usually I have to take a lot more shares to make this worth my while because it doesn't move a whole lot. Like to get 10 cents out of Intel, you got to sit for a bit, right? So you're allowed to take a little bit more shares and still keep your risk management the same as far as your dollar amount. and it takes a while to get somewhere. And I think it's usually why people avoid it. But today it traded well. Like, a almost $1.20 drop on Intel it's actually pretty big. This is a big drop for this account, for this stock. So you could do very well with that. Yeah, it takes a while, and sometimes it's hard to be patient as you get into a trade. You have to sit there and let it marinate to get to your target. But Intel's one of those stocks that you have to do that. Unlike the Teslas and the AMDs and the Nvidias, which will get you there very quickly. But this looks like a very steady. Wow, this is really beautiful. It is beautiful. That's nice. Friends over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. We really appreciate it. We got 880 people on deck, 818. So really appreciate you guys being on this morning. But we'd love to get these likes a little bit higher. Maybe half, 400. Half of you guys have to like us. Other half, maybe not. But if half loves us, we're happy. We're very happy. So we'll take that. 50% approval. That's good. But yeah, we'd love to get your thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Oh, this market's getting messy now, guys. Be careful.
Yeah.
Like look at the SPY now. It's just messing with us at this time. Like I thought we were going for a run, and this thing is just slamming right back down. That is ugly. Is it laptop day? I think so. I know Andrew mentioned today, but I don't want to put my neck on the line if it didn't happen yesterday. So I think he mentioned today, though. So Andrew's pretty good at keeping his word. So remind him when he comes on. In fact, remind him now. He could be looking at chat. Just slam laptop all over the place there. So laptop day, membership day, whatever you guys want day.
Is that today? It wasn't yesterday.
He's. I think he's moving computers because he's back in his house now, right? So he's going back and forth between his office and home. So
he is back at the house. Yeah.
He has this program that I know someone created for us. It's not his program, but somebody created for us. So I don't think it runs on like a certain machine. So we need to get something that's more stable that we can run from anywhere. Will be nicer. Put the pressure on Andrew. Andrew does whatever he wants, pressure or not.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. We're just nervous.
Yeah. Oh man. But he loves to give stuff away to you guys, so he does love giving back. But he'll probably love it more with higher likes. Like that, that's for sure. That I could tell you.
Yes.
You took more or less 4 or 5 partials, but doing so reducing the failure. Yeah, I know exactly where you're going. It's just the way I trade, man. So Jeff, you can't have it both ways, right? So, and you mentioned you're a beginner. You really can have it both ways. So I'll give you an example. Usually I try to take, let's say if I take 100 shares for easy math, right? I try to take 50% off as soon as possible, as soon as I'm in the green. Why? Because stocks do this. For the most part, this is what stocks do. So if I can get here and make money, stop out or break even, I'm going to have more winners, right? There might not be 10R winners, but I'm going to have more winners than the person that waits for the 2R up here or 3R, 4R, and then the stock does this, boom. They're going to have less winners, but bigger winners, right? So the numbers we have to see, there's so many variables we have to look at to see who's going to make more money in the long run and what's better for you as a trader. But here's my calculation that is priceless as far as, why I do it this way. My mental health, right? I am not okay with holding money in the green here, going up, waiting for a 3R. I'm not saying that's wrong, but I'm not okay with that. I need to put money in my pockets, okay? So you have to do what also works for you mentally. Right? Me waiting for 3Rs and not taking any partials and then letting it come back to 0 or even red, I'm not going to be okay with that. That's going to trigger a lot of bad habits, a lot of unnecessary emotions. Another trader can do that, so they're perfectly fine. I can't, right? So you have to do what works for you, right? This to me works a lot more consistently than waiting for 2 hours, waiting for 3 hours, and that's why I do it that way. If I want to make more money, very simple, increase my risk. You know, find out what works for you first, what you can do consistently over and over again. You want to make more money, increase the risk. But don't have a strategy thinking about making more money this way, right? Again, this is what I think, me personally. I could be completely wrong. As I mentioned before, I'm not a financial analyst. This just works for me. Over the years, this works, right? And it keeps my mind in check, you know? So that's the reason for that.
Let me share a real simple analysis that I did years ago, and I've shared this with the people in the chat room because it goes directly to this point, Carlos, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. So let me just grab a screen here. You can see here, I've got some charts, but ignore those. This is a simple analysis I did back in May 2019. So I get that it's a few years old, but it's not really the point. What I realized, I was taking partials way too quick. And I said, okay, so what if I changed? So basically I ran two scenarios. What if I actually held my trades until I at least got back the amount that I'd risked, and then that's when I'll take my first partial, and then partial after that? What if I waited until I got 2 times my return before I took any partial, and then managed the trade thereafter? And I used the exact same entries, so I know I wasn't changing my entry conditions. And I said, okay, well, if you look at that, what I actually made off of these 40 trades was $3,300. What I could have made if I just held longer was $5,300. And my maximum potential if I held until 2-to-1 was about $7,500, which would be more than twice what I'd made if what I'd actually done. And I said, okay, that looks great. Let me try and do that, right? And I tried to do this and I failed, because there was an important part of this analysis that I then added later, which I realized if I looked at my win and loss rate, something changes that's very significant. If you hold longer before taking a partial, you increase the risk that the stock is going to come back to your break even or your max loss, and you're going to lose, which means your number of winners decreases, but the net value of those that you win goes up. So yes, I could more than double my money, as you can see here, 2.2 times what I won. But my win rate, if you look at it, was dropping from about 71% to 51%. And what that did psychologically for me was that I got more nervous on the ones where I was holding, where I needed to hold longer for the winner, and I started taking the partials early again. And this is important, and I like sharing this because it was just such a simple analysis. But what it shows is, theoretically, right, I could make a lot more money by holding longer. But psychologically, I wasn't ready or prepared to do that. So what ended up happening is I got the worst of both worlds. I made my winners smaller because I got nervous and I took them earlier, but I held my losers until they lost. So basically I had more losers, but smaller winners. So I actually ended up making less than I even could have using the old way. So what I ended up going to is, if I share it here with you guys again quickly, is I ended up going to this midpoint where I realized I could hold a little bit longer and sort of make more than I had, but not as much as I could optimally. And this is where you have to balance the theoretical, maximum that you could make with the practical realities of what do I need to do to effectively manage my psychology so I can actually achieve a reasonable outcome. And I've since moved from that. I mean, obviously that was like 6 years ago. But it's a lesson that really stuck with me, that there's always the theoretical, absolutely. If I entered here and just held all the way to there, you could definitely make more money on average. But can you do that? Can you actually make yourself do that? And there are some people that can. In our chat room, we've got moderators. Eamon and Thor always come to mind. They have developed strategies that do exactly that. They enter and they're like, hell or high water, it's either stop loss or goal, period, right? And they're done. And I really applaud that. That takes a lot of mental fortitude to be able to do that. And frankly, I haven't got to the point yet where I've got the capability of doing that. So I take partials. So to what Carlos is
Yeah.
saying, yes, we take partials, understanding it may suboptimize your returns on the trade, but it allows us to get the cycle. It calms us. It manages the psychology. It means you put money in the bank. It can have other ramifications as well, depending on how you manage your trade. But think about that, right? Like, be realistic about what you can actually do. If you can hold and the data says that makes sense, then by all means go do it. But the reality may be you may be in a situation like I find myself in and found myself in before, where you just can't hold when you need to, and you end up costing yourself. So
Yeah.
food for thought.
Man, well said. And again, guys, this stuff, I'm not gonna lie to you, this crap is difficult. Like, this is hard stuff to get the consistency to do it over and over again. So when you find something that works, that also keeps your mind sane, it's gold. You better stick to it. But yeah, I agree, man. It's you gotta find what works for you. Everybody's gonna be different, and that's the beauty about trading. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Yes, there might be more beneficial ways you're going to make more money that you can possibly get a better return. But you said it best, Peter. Can you do it consistently over and over again, right?
Right.
And sometimes people can't. So as the markets turn into
As the markets
into
turn,
the
indeed.
red, everything pulling back here. So not nice going into the weekend. I mean, who wants to go into the weekend with a position here? It's I'm sure people are putting their money elsewhere. You never know what can happen coming into Monday on a 2-day off here. POTR, yeah, everything is going south, man. Everything is south. Let's see if is there any party that we can join. Maybe Apple. Apple is still at the previous day close. Maybe that can get us to 186.
Yeah, previous day close in VWAP pretty much at the same spot right now.
Yeah. All right, friends. Let's see. It is 8 minutes for Andrew to be on with us. So let's see what he did. I think he has some good trades. He traded a bit today.
He had a few stop outs. He had some trade. I actually can't tell if he's green or red today. How it's going, because he had a couple of losses. He had a couple of winners. So but like we were talking about, manage, being able to manage that and not panic and stick to your rules is important.
Yeah. Shorted AMD from 93. Very nice. 90. Yeah, right here. Got all the moving averages turning and heading south, but the overall market is driving this sell-off here. You could tell. What laptop specs are recommended for day trading? Looking forward to buy one shortly. Wondering what I need to have. Do you have a list of minimum? We actually do have recommendation lists on our website. I don't know if it has. Let me check actually, because things change quickly. So I'm gonna go there right now. But if my first recommendation is use what you have at home. If you have something at home, use that. You don't need anything new. A lot of the programs that we run are very light on bandwidth on your computer, so you'll be fine. But if you want to get something, entry-level stuff works perfectly fine. Oh, I didn't know I was here. Who put me on this thing over here? I had no idea what this. Oh, look at that. I'm on the website. All right. Oh, that's my old setup. I kind of changed things a little bit after the flood. All right, let's see here. We do have recommendations down here. By the way, if this is bearwitchers.com/technology, and you can have a bunch of stuff here. We talk about travel setup, laptop Dell XPX 15. I don't know if they even make those anymore, because I think Dell kind of moved. What do we have here? Oh, they still do. 930. Oh yeah, they still do make this one. 512 gigabytes. This is what I recommend, guys. 16 gig RAM. Like, you can get all fancy with this other stuff, but you gotta have at least 16 gigs. Don't go lower than that. That's what makes your computer do its thing.
You generally want a good graphics card and some RAM in there.
Yeah.
That's other than that, really, you don't need the fanciest top end chip. You don't even need the best graphics card, but you do want one generally that supports a multi-monitor setup.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Well, that was gonna say, like, get a laptop only if you're actually going to be traveling, but a
Yeah.
desktop is going to be cheaper. You can upgrade your graphics card and you're going to have just more flexibility. So if you can go with a desktop, if it's going to be for the house, do a desktop. You're going to be able to upgrade it nicer, and more screens is a lot cheaper. Now if you want something to travel, then yeah, that's the way to go, or a laptop is the way to go. All right, let's check the markets. Was this sell off recently here, and then just a nice spiky bounce off the 5 here? Let's mark this 520, 520.07, and heading the other way. Or if you want to trade while pooping, big wrestler. You can just take your phone, man. You don't gotta take the whole laptop. I mean, we all been in situations where nature calls, but take your phone. You can get Dash Trader Pro right on your phone. You can monitor
Dude,
the position, right?
are we really going there?
You can monitor
Dude,
the
that's what
position
stops.
as you are in the position. Like there's a lot of
Yeah,
things you could do here.
that's what automatic stops are for. You should not be entering a trade on the throne. You put in your stop, put in a range order, just
Yeah, let it be.
yeah.
Oh man, we just probably lost half of our viewers.
Yeah, or gain some, but I don't know.
Or gaining would be very scary if we gain
Yeah,
some viewers. Yeah.
maybe not our target audience, but
Oh
anyways.
man. Wow, markets moving somewhere at least. Doing some stuff. Intel came back down. Actually, not
Do you remember?
completely
Oh, I
still.
can't go there. Anyways, never mind.
It's funny because you think of something sometimes you're like, no, I actually cannot say
I
that.
can't say that. Yeah.
The other day, I referenced something from Dave Chappelle, and it was a joke, and I said, "Oh, I like the joke from Dave Chappelle," and as I started saying it, I'm like, I can't say that, and I can't say that, and you know what? The joke is they're not gonna get it. It's not gonna be funny because I
Yeah.
took out all the things that I cannot say to actually make the joke funny. So I gotta remember that if I'm gonna reference Dave Chappelle, just don't, because you won't be
I
able
was
to
gonna
say it.
say. I mean,
The
the
stuff
fact
that
that
he
it was
says.
Dave Chappelle to begin with probably should have given you a clue. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Sometimes we
that's funny.
think faster than what we're processing to talk on the show on the live stream here. Yes,
Yeah.
laptop day. If Andrew comes on and he sees a couple of likes, yeah. But you guys got to pressure him. You guys got to throw on laptops once he comes on. Laptop, Andrew. You know, get on him. Um, Does Interactive Brokers work well on Apple devices? Yes, it does. Interactive Brokers, the platform, not their TWS. I don't. That doesn't. I don't know if that works on
On
uh,
Apple?
Apple phones, but they're like
Oh,
Interactive
well,
Brokers web application works pretty
right.
nice. Yeah. Not for day trading. I just want to be clear. Not for day trading though. Like you can enter positions, you can monitor your accounts and all that good stuff, which is a good habit to look to make sure you don't have no positions open. Um, but yeah, it works well.
Yeah. Like the DAS platform does not work well in Apple,
Oh, so
to be
bad,
clear.
so bad. Um,
Yeah.
on the phone, like
The
it, you can get in and out of positions, but when you look at stuff like Think or Swim, what they done with their mobile app,
yeah.
so beautiful, man. So nice. So
And even I know there's like what is there parallels and there's a couple of programs that give you Windows emulators. They don't work. They don't work well. You got to remember DOS. I love DOS. It's a great program. I think it's a great trading environment, but it's old. It's old school, and I think just the way it
yeah,
operates, it uses some very sort of old approaches in terms of the way it makes its calls and its execution. And yeah, it just you don't want to risk it. So
yeah.
if you're going to use
When you
if
say
you're going to use DOS,
you're talking about the ones that are for Apple, like MacBook computers.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually used one for 7 months, Peter.
Did you?
It was not yeah,
I
parallels. Out you'd be surprised how good it was.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I just it seems like every time we get, especially in the boot camp, when we get people trying to use it, there's always tons of problems to troubleshoot. And if you're not very technical, it's you get to a point where we're like, we can't help you. Like I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on, and so yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
you're right. I got in a few of those emails, and it is usually they installed the Windows wrong. They know how, yeah, you're right. There is a little tech savvy you have to be a little bit. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But once you have it set up properly, it works really well. And you know what happens, right? If Parallels doesn't update, then now your software doesn't work properly. So it could be funky. Preferably, guys, if you are gonna trade, get a PC. Highly recommend it. But if you have a Mac, try it. Just be aware it might not be the best setup, right? All right. Any tariff news? Anybody increasing tariffs on anybody? Or China and in US chilling now, or are we going for another round of ups and downs here? These two guys are hard headed. They're just gonna keep going at it. Nobody's gonna kind of make the call first. All that has to happen, Peter, is somebody just has to make the call first. Either U.S.
yeah.
calls China or China calls U.S. And we're both very hard
I
headed here.
Well, China said that they were willing to talk, and I find it, anyways. Sometimes
The little things, right?
diplomacy has a whole new sentiment these days, doesn't it?
Yeah,
When
yeah,
when you get a Trump type approach where he loves visible displays of strength, and his point of view is that if you blink first, right? I won that round of negotiation, and there's a lot of those where you get oh well because China says they're willing to negotiate, right? I win. Well,
yeah, yeah.
you got to be careful because you can't take the win too early because you haven't actually negotiated yet. So, but it's he does like to play his negotiations in the public light and sort of talk about the process as much as the outcome. So, anyways, we'll see what happens. I mean, I think that I think that China, they said they're willing to come to the table, and but you're right, they're not going to back down easy. Like they're going to ask for some pretty heavy concessions, and then then it's up to us to figure out what does it actually mean, right? We have to
Yeah.
undo the spin and say, okay, so what do we think that impact is going to be? And for us right here, how do I trade it? Right? How do I trade that? That's what I'm always worried about.
Just recently joined the boot camp. How do I join the meeting coming up at 11 a.m.? Yes, if you join the boot camp, Mike is going to be meeting with you at 11 a.m. Is that in? I think that's at Bearable Traders, right?
No,
So
it's in the. I think it's in
Peak
the.
Capital.
It's in the Peak Capital meeting room.
Mm.
So you should have your login to Peak Capital, and when you get that, if you log in, go to the dashboard, and then you'll find the meeting rooms listed there, and you'll be able to log in. So
Awesome, man. Look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks, May 5th. But go there now with Mike and join that meeting. And he does it every Friday, so you could join this one, you could join next Friday. Join as many times as you can. It's like a movie. The more you watch it, the more little things you catch and get better at. So yeah, join a couple of times before the start. Good stuff. TOS is much better on Mac using some Windows parallels, but still not good. Yeah, TOS has a MacBook application, so if you have a Mac, you could run it on a Apple is fine. But again, I got TOS. TOS for day trading is I personally don't like it. Swing and everything else great, but for day trading, DAS is pretty nice.
yeah, it's Peak Capital Google Meet room. Just making
It's in
sure
the Google
that was
meeting, right? It's in that one. Okay.
yeah, making sure I was not lying to people.
Yeah, I went to check too. I'm like, oh, let's go check. But I see it here, mic orientation. So yeah, perfect.
Well, guys, it's a Friday. I'm not particularly surprised. We're getting less directional movement here, a little choppier. I only
Hmm.
have the one loss. That trade I had in Apple, and yeah, look at Nvidia bounced twice off of the previous day close.
Yeah, it's messy. It really is.
I missed that on Nvidia. I might have considered that. That's a nice bounce. That's the type of bounce I like to see.
Hmm.
Um, so,
On the 1 minute right
so
here. This
yeah,
one.
the problem is it went a little lower on the second bounce than the first one. Yeah, I usually look at a 1 minute.
Yeah,
It's got, and
little
that would
bit.
have made me nervous that it just went a little bit lower. So, but I didn't actually see it live, so it's tough to tell. I didn't see what the price action looked like.
Mm.
Uh, Wells Fargo also did a nice sort of double bounce at the bottom. I was busy talking with you guys. I didn't. I lost focus here. Hmm. Oh, well, my bad. Where is Andrew?
I don't know.
Yeah,
You see in
time.
chat?
Yeah.
What happened?
Jordan posted a picture, one of the ones from the TEDx with Ferris on stage with his dancers, and I don't know if you've seen this.
Out of curiosity, what is going on in this pic?
Yeah, is that one you can bring up? So, if you've ever been to a TEDx is fascinating because it has a mix of, there are artistic events and
Yeah, yeah.
activities, and we had singers, we had dancers, we had performers in amongst sort of your psychology and technical type presentations, and it
Yeah,
really
yeah.
there were artists
Hi
out in the
guys, how are you?
hallway. There was a whole art gallery. There was this virtual. Did you go into the
Hey Andrew,
virtual
good
like
morning. I
Good
I
3D
morning.
I
room?
did. I
No,
did.
let's
I
put
did
it
Yeah.
go
in
for
the
this.
chat room as well, please.
Okay, yeah, we'll do.
Peter, how are you
And good
doing?
morning, Andrew. Yeah. Anyways, where we went into this interactive room where you were part of the art, and it digitized you and put you up on like a digital display virtual screen. It was sort of cool. You just walked into the room and suddenly you were part of the art display. I thought that was like super cool. But
It
anyways,
was amazing, man. I'm really looking
yeah,
forward
the
to
whole event
what we're
was,
gonna pull off next year. This was pretty good.
yeah. So credit to Andrew for funding it and putting it all together. Ferris,
Yeah.
who was the artistic director and producer, who really sort of had the vision behind some of the events, and yeah, it was fantastic. And what a great way to sort of open your mind up and to set you for a lot of the more technical stuff that we had over the next couple of days. I found it fascinating.
Yeah, we do something like that next year. Me and you, Peter, we're gonna come in as guests. We're gonna pay for our ticket. We're gonna just sit there and
I
enjoy like you guys were
I
enjoying
know.
everything. That's awesome, man. So
I did tell people, so the presentations were all short, right? If you go to a TEDx, they're 8 to 10 minutes, and I was one of the MCs, and thank God we had co MCs. But even so, like for me, for 6 hours or however long the session was, it was about 7 hours, I guess, all told on that day. But to be up and down off the stage every 10 minutes for 7 hours, almost like it was exhausting. I was wiped by the end of that day. Cool experience, but yeah, I'd like you said, I'd love to have sat in the audience and just been able to observe and watch. That would have been fantastic.
good morning, Brian. How you doing today?
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Morning,
Nice.
Brian.
Hey, how was your morning? This was a little bit of a challenging morning, kind of choppy, but
Yeah,
seemed to have we almost it looked like we were going to break down and then we came back up again. So it's been a bit of a chop fest here. Tesla got a couple of nice drops.
Yeah, Marcus getting a little messy
So
here.
I was read to start the day, but now I'm managed to trade back into the green. I don't know if I want to take any more trades. Probably put myself back in the red for the day. So right now, the SPY and the Qs are just kind of hanging around with yesterday's close.
Sweet, man. We'll let you guys to it. We're gonna hop off. We'll be in chat.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll be in chat listening.
Trade smart, everybody.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Peter Carlos. Yeah, it's going to be a challenge for the team to try to come up with an event that was as good as the one we just had in Vancouver. Just amazing performers, amazing speeches on the TEDx day and following days with the trading. More instructional stuff. Yeah, Andrew's kind of ghosted us here for a minute. It's really going to be interesting to see how we end the day here. Huh. I know it's last couple of days have been. This week has been a bit of a challenge for sure. Never knowing what's coming next. Kind of looks like Q's and SPY wants to go higher here. Just looking to see what it's doing here. It's right around the VWAP, which makes it challenging. Does look like it wants to move up. The LTR is coming back up through some moving averages. Again, I'm not inclined to take another trade here. Yeah, good morning. So how was everyone's day? Anybody have some good trades or some bad trades? Trades that didn't work out, trades you followed your plan on and they didn't work out anyway, which can happen. Definitely looks like SPY wants to I'm going to say definitely, but it does look like SPY is trying to move up here. Got a breakout here on the SPY now.
All right, so it is bouncing back. Should we get some long and Qs? Get some long on TQQ 46.41. Market is bouncing back. That was above the VWAP. I'm going to get some long at 46.25.
Yeah, I just got just long some SPX calls on this. Get a pop here. A nice move. Yeah, TQ, the Qs are starting to break out here.
If we can go for the high of the day or not. President hasn't said anything, no? Not yet.
Not that I know of. China threw more tariffs on this more on overnight, I guess, 125 now %, and they I guess that they kind of said they're done. They're not we're done raising tariffs. So I think that was kind of like a bit of a signal to the US to stop the gamesmanship. So we'll see what effect that has.
Let's see. I'm long TQQ at 46.35. If it loses the VWAP, then I get it stopped out. But it looks like it was a really nice bounce. We were discussing before just jumping over to YouTube that NVIDIA did a really nice engulfing, and as you see, it's a really nice squeeze.
Yeah, NVIDIA had a really nice setup for a long. It was there's kind of a double bottom there. First bottom around 1020, second bottom was around 1030, and the bottom was actually yesterday's close PDC, which is always a good level to trade off of. So
Kashkari said the US is no longer attractive. US definitely. I didn't get the message. The auction that they had the treasury for the bonds, was it good or was it bad?
yeah, I don't think
Was
it.
it good? Did you read the
I didn't
news?
think it was good. Did they have another treasury auction this morning?
No,
They had one
a
a
few
couple
days
days
ago or
ago.
2 days ago, I think they
Yeah,
had.
I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't. I don't think. I think it was like I don't know.
Yeah, it
A
was good.
B.
Yeah, I think I read the two contradicting articles about that, but it seems that it was good. There was. In terms of yeah, the low floats guys, like look at this mixed martial arts group, MMA. It's dropped really bad. ARAB, this American Rebel Holdings, this one also dropped significantly on the way down, halted. So let's see what the TQQ is doing. Is TQQ is going to pop or not?
Yeah, I that was SPY trade was a quick in and out because I'm not sure. I don't. I just don't see this market following through on.
Market they want to just be not super volatile and stay around here.
Yeah. So Monday morning we've got Goldman Sachs reporting. That should be interesting. Getting into earnings season, of course, Friday, kick things off. all the banks that reported this morning, BAC, Morgan Stanley, JPM, all down. Yeah, you see how all these rallies, there's no follow through. They just kind of die. I should have shorted the SPY. Yeah. Coming back down again.
User doing user. Oh, TQQ. I'm gonna get a stopped out on it, guys. Yeah, I'm negative for the day.
All right, no positions for me. Tesla could be a short. But it's kind of late to get into that now, unfortunately. Yeah, like I said, the SPY had that nice little bounce that I caught, but again, it's almost like got to get in and out quickly on these trades right now, especially this time of day where you just don't. There's just a lot of choppy price action.
Trading, guys. Yeah, did you have a good time? What did Jada trade? Is Jada trading today?
No crazy low floats today. MMA.
Jada, did you trade anything or just Jared
Who?
is usually
Me?
trade Jared
Oh, Jared. Yeah.
spies just flat.
Big order at 246 on Tesla. The market continues to go down. We're probably going to get into that pool of liquidity there. Yeah, market's sort of looking a little. Maybe it's going to bounce here. I don't know. God, at this point, it's really hard to say. We're just chopping around here, right around PDC. Markets are sort of flipping between red and green. Yeah, it's just a day where it feels like the markets just doesn't feel like anybody wants to really buy, and nobody's really invested in selling either. So we're just kind of hanging around.
All right, so we have 5 minutes. Let's do the membership giveaway that we discussed. We
All
promised
right.
everybody. Let's get the list of.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's do the list of the participants, and we are getting ready to give you a membership. What do you think about that? Let's do that, guys. Let's get to do a 1-year elite membership to our community. Trading together.
Yeah. Bonus.
One Zena. One Zena. Do we
Learn
have any?
how to. This is your
Zena?
opportunity. Spend a year, learn how to trade.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Congratulations to Mr. Juan Zena. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're here. I can see you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There you go.
Well, yeah, just email me, and then we'll get you going.
Yeah. You give a man a fish, his stomach will be filled. You teach him how to fish, he'll be fed for life. So there you go. Hopefully that'll work out.
So Tesla bounced back, NVDA bounced back.
Yeah. The market's bouncing back again. Like I said, we're just flipping between red and green on the SPY. It's just IWM's down under 180. Oh my God. Wow. Crazy.
IWM what? Hi, Rob. Thanks. Yeah, of course. Yeah, guys, if you have any question, email me. Directly andrew@verbal-traders.com. It's my email. I'll get back to you. That's my personal email. And
Yeah.
happy to
On
answer.
me.
Is there any question, guys? I had a really negative day, so just unfortunately the market really didn't get any follow through in any direction. I had a couple of good trades on AMD, but wasn't good enough to recover the losses today. What's your question, Francis? What are the question? Ask me your question. Why are you?
I don't think, I don't think you're going to glean a lot from the futures. I mean, if there was a tool to figure out which way the market was going based on the futures, you'd know the algos would be using those as well, which would almost negate the that tool. When people start, everybody, you can't game the market forever until people figure it out, and then they start front running the gaming, and then it basically just um, doesn't work anymore. I know there are people in our community that do trade futures, and they find it much easier than trading stocks. So our buddy Thor, and then we had one of our speakers, Vanessa, is at the TED Talk. She trades futures as well. She's a mentor, coach, but also a trader. So and a lot of people do like futures because they maybe a little more predictable. And the other thing about futures is, you pretty much trade them. I mean, the one thing for apparently for Vanessa is she doesn't have a lot of time during the day, but she can trade at night. So she trades at night. Ooh, something just happened. We just got some kind of news here.
This is let's see what the
Are you still in TQQ?
No, but I might actually get some long here TQQ.
Oh, that's
Let's see what that.
too bad you missed that move. I don't know what that was.
11. There's no number or anything at 11, huh?
No, it could have been. Well, you signed up for Truth Social. Was there anything there?
I don't know. Listening to Benzinga, see if the Benzinga has anything.
Um, um, hmm.
Maybe not. Was there any number? No, I don't think there was
No,
anything
I
at
don't think
11.
so. No, no. Usually, 11 isn't. There was consumer sentiment at
No.
10, but that's long gone. So I don't know. And that pop up didn't really last. That's it was kind of a. Sometimes these initial reactions to news coming out they just don't hold. Seems back. We're almost right back to where we started after that pop.
Getting out of
So I don't know
position
what the
here
heck
is
that was.
crazy. Yeah. All right, guys. It's 8 o'clock. We're gonna hand it over to Thor and the Paris.
Yeah,
All the best, guys. Yeah, it was a wild week.
here's a
Really, it was a wild week, and looking
no
forward to
kidding.
see you guys all on Monday.
Yeah, and if you want to check out my weekend recap video, you can. It's on YouTube. I'll be putting it out probably sometime Saturday, so you can check that out. You can just search my name. It's there. All right. So thanks everybody. And congrats Juan for getting the laptop. Yeah, we've got a couple of traders in Argentina. One came down on our retreat in Colombia, and we had somebody up from Argentina at the TEDx event. Paris, you're looking good, my man. Here you go.
Hey,
Okay, I can't hear you.
can you hear me?
Yes, and there's always a delay. So, all right, guys, talk to you later. Have a great weekend.
Awesome. How is everyone on YouTube?
Fun yet? Look at this thing go. Hey, you didn't get stopped out on that pullback, right, buddy? I know. I was.
You fun yet?
Hey, what's up, Brian? What's up, man?
Hey, man.
No, I did not do my hair. I'm having a very frustrating day, to be honest. Uh, I hate when that comes on a Friday. And I am very emotional on Tesla. That Tesla is dropping now, so you guys should be able to see my screen. Yeah, things are weak. I don't know why am I trying to long Tesla. I just see a strength on Tesla, and I have given all my money back that I made on Nvidia and Apple and Tesla today, and I'm down on the day. Yeah, and I think I should stop. That I've been trying very emotional on Tesla today. Nvidia, I think you see my screen on Nvidia. I'm embarrassed to share my Tesla chart, to be honest. Today is one of that emotional trading. Uh, yeah, I have a 30% rule, but only when I hit my profit target. I did not hit my profit target today. And it was like make money, lose money, make money, lose money. And so yeah, I'm still thinking, I don't know, the SPY is just so choppy and no bounce to the either sides. I think it's a long, but the price action is not giving it's not giving me any indication if it's a long, and I keep taking that trade. Yeah, let me show you my Tesla thing first, and then and I think I messed around right here. Yeah, I don't know what am I doing today. So at the start, I was okay. At the start, I was okay. I was looking for an opening range break up uh, at this area. At this area, popped up, stopped out break even. Then when it came back up to the area that I was interested in, bounced from VWAP, I went long. This was a scale out on the profits. It was a 4.5, 5 point move. And then it came back down. I added more and stopped out just close to break even. Then this was my third trade. When I long it, I was like, okay, now it's gonna squeeze. It has claimed the range right here. Now it's gonna squeeze to the upside. And just kept getting stopped out. This was a bad trade. There was no reason for me to take this trade. No, this is out of my playbook. So that's the trade that I took, but stopped out very quickly. Then this is my fourth trade, and then I think my mess up starts after here. So my mess up starts after this area. So once I got stopped out, this is when I started going long. No reason for me to go long. This is this is the thing that I'm preaching everyone on, how the support becomes resistance. I'm literally going at the resistance. Same here, pops up and then stops out. So yeah, and I'm trying to capture that pops on a reversal. And same like this here, tried to long, stopped out. And this one, like volume came in, went long, added more. Like now I'm like, okay, now it goes to VWAP. Scaled out, added more, stopped out. Long, break even. Long right here, stopped out. These two were very bad trades. And these were like heavy losses too. So this one was a loss. Everything else was like controlled. These two were not controlled for me. Like it looks like a $1 stop out, but I was heavy size on this. I was tier 2 size on this. And last two trades actually put me on the negative. But before that, I was like close to break even. So yeah. But Nvidia was profitable, very profitable on the day. I took two trades on Nvidia. I went long here, added more, scaled out to the upside, stopped out break even. Then long here. This was the second trade. I was like, okay, now it's not dropping. Let's go long. And then scaled out. And then I didn't touch Nvidia. And then I also traded Apple. So I should have just stopped trading. I'm too emotional on Tesla right now. So I traded Apple. I hesitated on the long side because I was going against the trend. I came out just when I saw that the SPY was dropping actually, and like Apple was actually that leader in that. So very quickly got out of it with a small profit, and then I shorted here, dropped close to $1.50, and then the price action was the price action was actually bullish after it went below the VWAP, and I was like, okay, it doesn't make sense. I'm gonna get completely out. So this were like two profitable trades on it, but not clearing. The only thing was I was emotional on like everything was good, everything was okay, but I got emotional on the last two trades on Tesla. Like not two trades, I think after um after this trade, after uh, after this trade, uh, I shouldn't have touched Tesla on a long side. After this trade, there was no reason for me to touch Tesla on the long side. And I suck at reversals, man. I don't know why how people trade reversals. Like if after this drop, the only thing that I would do is short the short drop, pull back, short here, and then continue on the downside. I was very emotional for Tesla on the long side. So yeah, that is my trade, though, and I'm embarrassed about it. I'm sorry. So not happy with the way I traded either. So yeah, today is one of that day. Like if I continue trading, I would get into a deeper hole. So I'm down $1,000. I can handle that. Uh, but yeah, but I was up, I think close to 2.5 grand or something. But giving back like 3,500, that's yeah. Tesla is now selling off. Everything is selling off actually. So Gulame, my partial strategy is usually my first partial would always be either 1:1 or 1:2 R. So if you look at it, my even on my this trade right here at this point at 108.80 at this area, 108.85, I was risking 25 cents. And when it pops up, like this is from 108.80 to 109.40, and that's where I was like, this is where your 1:2 risk reward. At the first exit, scaling partials should always be 1:2, and then you start scaling out like 5%. Like my bigger partial was at 1,110, and then I scaled out, and when it popped up right here, and I was like, okay, now this is can easily go to 1,111. But when there was a big volume on, I think here, the SPY was actually selling off and very aggressive volume came in. I think you see it here as well. And that's like, okay, there is a change in the character. The stock is not willing to go higher. Let me get completely out. So that's where I got completely out of it. On Nvidia, so yeah, so that's that. Usually my exits are 5%, but at important levels, I'll take a bigger partial. Like for example, 110 was an important partial for me at right here, 110. So usually 5%. My first exit is 5%. Always. If I have to take more, I'll press double time, like 2 times, 5%, 5%. Yeah, how was your day, guys? Yeah, this thing is real, guys. It's like best of the best people have to go through it, and I was very emotional with Tesla. I shouldn't have messed around. Should have, could have. Nothing works there. So yeah, what else is happening? I don't know. Nvidia is trying to follow the trend on the downside. I think things are more weak than bullish. What is Apple doing? I think Apple had that relative strength, and Apple is still above the VWAP. Yeah, Apple had that relative strength even at the open. Yeah, this trade would have been a really good trade at the open. But the only thing was I was going like I don't like when I'm trying to go against this, trends. This was a good, but this was like there were multiple moving averages and the VWAP was above it. I personally don't like it. Ideally, the more I'm more interested in is in the rising devil trade. Like it pops up and then sells off. And that's the whole reason I got chickened out here because I saw a little bit of selling. I was like, okay, this is a rising devil trade and it just drops out. But overall, I was seeing buyers here. And that's why I went long for an opening range breakup. But yeah, this would have really worked. Uh, could have one and done on the day right here. But that's a part of trading, guys. You gotta live with that. Everything is weak and now selling off. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Debbie. Uh, what is PLTR doing? I didn't. So PLTR is weak. Yeah, PLTR is breaking the low of the day. Nvidia is trying to break the low of the day. Tesla has already broken the low of the day. And that's why, see this, guys, that's why it's very critical to get a stop out. No reason to, like, if I was being stubborn and holding at these positions, I would have been like very deep into the hole. Google, let's look at Google. Google is actually, you're short from 155. Yeah, 155 is a good level, to be honest. 155, 154.72. Yeah. And if it breaks this thing, and the only thing that I'm thinking of is it is trying to trend on this side and this side. So if things are weak here, I think if it breaks A little bit. I think 155, 155.20. I think this is what it's doing right now. The stock is like literally finding a tight price action. And then it might go to 155.20 and then maybe sell off later again, or maybe pops up depending on what the SPY does. But it is in that range of I would be more like if the weakness on the SPY exists continues, then I think very good chance that it continues to the downside and breaks out of this thing. Yeah, the SPY is weak. Google is dropping. Now things are interesting. They're trying to buy. Yeah, the things are there's a buying coming in. Uh, and not really sure if that continues. Guys, I'm taking a long on Tesla. I don't know, I might regret it again. But I'm taking a long on Tesla. Let's see if it has a continuation to the upside. Today is the day where the buying volume comes in, but the continuation never happens. And I'm trying to see in which one the continuation does happen. So we'll see on how the Tesla reacts. So I'm long on Tesla. Yeah, it's just that that weakness keeps taking over. Yeah, this is weak, guys. Okay, I'm getting out, guys. Yeah, I'm just trying to capture that bounce and then keep selling off. Yeah, I should stop trading, guys. Okay, guys, one more long on Tesla. That's a live show of how emotional I am today. Yeah, there is a bounce, but they keep taking over again and again. The sellers keep taking over. And I'm just getting trapped in that. See again, that sellers take over again. I just keep getting trapped in that small burst of buying power. Yeah, again gonna be stopped out. Okay, come on, that let the buyers continue. Spy, I think you are gonna decide. Come on, show some strength. Let's see if it holds these moving averages now. Let's see if it pops. Again, the sellers are taking over. Come on, go to 245. I'll be a happy guy. Selling some here. Still, the buyers have not completely taken over, but it is showcasing some good stepping up. And this is the area of rejection too. This is the area where at 245, 244.50. So Glenn, I do not like I did try with different tier sizing, but in the reversals, the reversals that I'm taking, they are all tier 1 size. Usually when I'll go heavy when I am with the trend. All these longs that you see, when I'm going against the trend, then I'm only tier 1 size or maybe nibble around. Like this one, I was trying to nibble around. Like this one was like 25% of my tier size, like this entry, because this was against the trend. But rest everything was I was trying to take tier 1 size, which is also not good, to be honest. Because I should have, like, I was still going against the trend and I was and reversals are not usually my forte. The problem with reversals is it's the nature of the setup is that you will have to try multiple times. And the more times you are trying to come on, let's see if it goes to 245, 246, 248. I would be a very happy guy. I would end my Friday in a positive note. Friday hurts you bad. I think Fridays are like if you're down, like if you're down on any other day versus Friday, I think yeah, and here ideally I would think about adding more to the position, but now I'm not in that, frame of mind to uh like I would think of adding more to the position because I've lost my confidence today. With so many trading that I did, it's like you have to always understand that it's not your best day and I want to give room for it to work for me. Yeah, it messes up the weekend. And that's what and you think about it and you ponder over it. Like I had one of the best weeks overall. Like this week has been one of my best weeks. But it's like every single day is an independent day, but the Friday hits you hard. So yeah. Perfect. Got filled. Let's see if it has a chance of going a little higher to 246. Yeah, Glenn, I was actually thinking of adding more at 244. Ideally, I should have added more, but uh, like I was telling you, I was talking about the exact same area where I was planning on adding. It's just the nature of the situation right now. I just want to come back to break even and want to give a little bit more room than making money today. I wanna, and if it goes to 247 today, I'll come back to break even. Come on, fill me, fill me, fill me. Fill me, fill me. Yeah, I never got filled. On fill, 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 break, 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 break. Awesome. I think I got filled. Yeah. Awesome. So that's good. Now let's go to the next step is 247. Nvidia has that relative strength. The Tesla is like very struggling today for some reason. Nvidia is above the VWAP. Like it's above the VWAP now. It's like What a sell-off. Again, the sell-off continues. This eventually find like this is a good area to add to the position, but I don't think I want to add here. You know what? I think I'm going to add here. I'm adding here to the stock. Let's see if it has that continuation to break to the upside. Yeah, I tried to pop, but no continuation. Yeah, I think I'll stop out at break even. This is trying to sell off aggressively, but the SPY is trying to hold. And that's what gives me like a little bit of conviction that maybe Tesla has a chance to go up. Adding a little more on Tesla, Let's see if it has a chance to pop up. Again, someone slammed it. The more it tries to come back up, the more slamming is trying to get. It still has a chance. It still has a chance. The buyers are trying to step up, but they are followed by sellers though. Yeah, I don't think it's like I'll get stopped out. My break even is 243.31. Yes. Come on, Tesla, pop. Give me today. There's a lower and lower bid coming in. That's not a good sign. I think it's gonna drop. I will stick to my break-even price. 234, sorry, 244 is actually a good hold area, to be honest. This is actually looking long. 244 was a held bid right there. It did not let it drop. No, please hold. Please hold. Don't drop. Don't come back again to 244. Please hold. Go up. Go up. Now there's a big bid offer at 244.50. Come on, it break that 244.50. Come on, SPY is going up too, so you gotta go up too. Don't mess around with me. I think it's gonna break to the upside. I think there's a very good chance it breaks to the upside. Let's see. Boom. Break. It did break. Don't slam it. Don't slam it. Please don't slam it here. Break to the upside. Break to the upside. Somebody slammed again. I hate you slammers. Buyers are trying to step up, but somebody keeps slamming again on Tesla. That's not good, to be honest. They are still buying though, but the slammers don't go away. Go away, slammers. Go away. Let the Tesla squeeze. Let Tesla squeeze. Come on, squeeze, Tesla. Squeeze. Squeeze. Show me who the loyal girlfriend looks like. Break. Break. Break the 245s. Come on, Tesla. Come on. You have this in you. Oh no. Tesla is not. Yeah. There is still a very big seller at 244.50. They're not allowing it to lift. 244.50 lifts, we're gonna go to 240, break the 245. Lawyer. Eric, how are you, my friend? Come on, break. Don't slam here. Break. Again, that seller slammed. That seller is not allowing it to pop, guys. And that seller can continue all around. So that buyers are trying to break out, but that seller has to lift, and that squeeze will happen. If the SPY pops up, like if the SPY breaks out from here, the squeeze will very quickly happen. And you're going against the trend too. So it was, see, that slam again. Somebody slammed again. See that? It's just the nature of like, what's the point that, you could see a lot of things in the play, but now it's gonna drop. That 244 buyer, will it hold again here? I don't think so. Uh, so it's tricky. Now 244 was the buyer that continues to hold here, but 244 is holding. Yeah, now it's dropped 244. I think it's gonna sell and I'll get stopped out. You know what? I'm thinking of adding more. Should I add more? Come on, break that 244.50 barrier. If that breaks, guys, I think we're gonna be in a very good boat. That 50 barrier breaks, we're gonna be in that good boat on the squeeze side. Okay, now here we go. It breaks. Let's see. It holds. I hope the seller doesn't slam here again. This is the point where seller should not slam here. It slammed again. Let's try to slam. They're absorbing. It slammed again. The seller is, that's the area that you want to see that seller, do not want to see that seller slam. So it's just the nature of the price at this point. It's just gonna chop around. 244 is buying, 244.50 is selling. And you have to come out of that range for either sides to squeeze to the upside or downside. Again, the seller is still here. The buyers are not it's not a clear imbalance on the buyer side. The seller is still there. Slammed again. Yeah, I'm seeing slammers on the tape. Yeah. Again, the slammers. Okay, now it broke. Now it will break like a boss. Let's see. Break 245. Now it's like the seller should lift by now. Come on. Sellers, please give up. Get out of the trade. You're gonna be run over. Okay, now very beautiful. Let's see if it breaks the 245. I'll start covering after 245. Come on, the seller slammed again. The sellers are not just willing to give up. See this? The sellers are so stubborn. Those idiots. I don't know who is trying to. Yeah. Yeah, slammed again. What an idiotic. Okay, now let's see 245 break. Let's see 245. 245. I did see a print of 245. Let's break like a boss. 245.1. Okay, selling some. I did not, my order did not get filled. Okay, now it got filled. 245. Now let's see if it goes to 246. Boom, boom, 245.50. Just following the way the SPY is. Let's now, the ads are working. I would be very disappointed if it goes below 244.50 again. I would be that's what you like. That's when you understand that this is, you want to stay away from that stock. Like when some things like these happen and then it comes back again and then holds there, and then that's where you know that that's not the right stock to trade. See this, it's comes back again to that area. Yeah. What an idiotic price action, guys. This is like this is what you call as the balanced price action. There is no imbalance on the trades. There is no but like clear imbalance on buying versus selling. 1 second the buyers take over, second the sellers take over. It's very and these are the times where you wanna just avoid it. Yeah, okay, guys. I think it's top of the hour. Let's wrap it up. If it pops to 246, 247, I'll hopefully close my day green. But yeah, take care. And see you guys on Monday.